Captain America tried to choke a robot.
Okay then.
Dude,
That's a good way to start it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna start.
Also, here, have a good boy.
Okay, I'm gonna start doing the link bomb.
I want you to know that dog hopping away going nope is basically Keta when she saw that thing that she had to fight. Like,
you have to fight this, but I'm baby,
I want.
but I'm baby. Gotta fight it, but baby.
That dog is what happens when a hungry hippo becomes a dog.
So pretty much all dogs.
That dog is just what happens when Lee gets rolled on his back and can't get up.
Lee
Get
is not
up.
like
Get up, bring me snacks. Little, little.
Lee, you could get up. You're not a turtle. Are there a turtle, Ivani?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because
Well-
that just brings the most enjoyable thought to mind. Of them having to get flipped back over if they land on their back.
There is a crab.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
And he's breaking Terrace's damn island.
The crab!
Crab breaking my islands!
I hope you can't hear that.
Can't hear what?
Can you hear a chainsaw?
Vaguely when you talk, but it doesn't pick up otherwise.
Bold of you to assume that I hear things.
What?
Store's been using
Exactly.
a chainsaw since 7 a.m.
They really enjoy Chainsaw. Have you given them a lollipop and asked them if they want to put on a miniskirt? Because that's the only next possible cause for action. Alright then.
Okay, the only,
Is everyone good to go?
just about. I just have to do the one on the tweeters.
Oh yes, the Twitter.
I just need a second go to grab a.
Yes, everyone, go get your drinks. Go get your initial peas out. Whether it's of the urination and or canned variety, or if you've got fresh peas, get them out.
But if you had fresh peas, why would you get rid of them? Those things are delicious.
I didn't say get rid of them. I said get them out. Like bring them out to the forefront. Show us your peas. Show me your moves. Show me your peas.
Sorry, I only got frozen. I'm not showing any little frozen balls here.
I mean, I'm ready, but I've got a chainsaw in the background.
It when you talk, it sounds vaguely like you have a choir behind you. Sometimes.
Or a very angry bee.
It sounds like a choir of Chewbacca's very quietly in the distance. I can't do that sound. Hello, everyone. This is the Scattered Realms, where we imitate Chewbacca for the next 3 to 4 hours.
Don't implicate me in your insanity. I have my own.
You think you're allowed to escape it.
Don't implicate.
You'll implicate yourself in good time.
Implicate? You're the cause of this. Eldritch Abomination.
No, I think you're talking about George Lucas.
He is an Eldritch Abomination.
Are we doing introductions?
If you want to, I'm waiting for you guys to do that.
Hello, I am Andy. That is me. Goodbye.
They don't speak Wookiee.
Benny, go.
Oh, Armored, really? Oh my god. Hi, I'm Danny Boop. I do the STEM, and I clearly have no control here.
No one has any control here.
I am Feltrolls, and that is a chainsaw.
Hi, I'm Failtros, and this is Chainsaw.
Oh, Jesus.
It just doesn't stop.
I am Mythosha.
Man,
He introduced himself.
I know. Anyway, hello everyone. I am Ash, or Jim, however you would like to call me.
Good.
It is actually kind of hard to do this.
Yeah.
Anyways. Hello everyone, I'm Ash, or Jim, whatever you want to call me. Things are getting interesting. There's a lot of things to catch up before we get properly started and into tonight's session. So I'll go ahead and jump into things. Last time on the Scattered Realms, Session 45, our band of intrepid adventurers, Ket the Sublucidus Bard, Travinche the Human Dancer, Morrigan the Hexblade Warlock, Failsy the Sorcerer, and Brimstone the Engaged? The party were given a brief time of respite once more in the Emerald Plateau to plan and prepare for the trials that lie ahead of them in the oppressed kingdom of Failhaven. Magical tools acquired, many personal goals met or furthered, they now make ready to go forth unto the next leg of their ventures. So we're going to be starting off today's session with just a bit of a recap, bit of roleplay, just so you guys can sort of go over with each other what you've been doing over the last week, because in and out of character there's been a bit of disconnect. You all sort of did your own thing for the most part, and you're just sort of coming together at this point with 4 days remaining. Let me check the calendar again. I believe I said it was 4 days.
4 or
Wait.
5.
Are we at least in the cart as we do it?
No, because the cart would not be arriving until the next day.
Alright, okay.
Yeah, and we're supposed to be leaving today.
We're just all around the breakfast table.
Yes, you are currently sitting at 4 days until the
Event.
until the supposed deadline.
Alright.
Until the end.
So,
To give each individual player context, we're going to basically be picking up right after Keta is arriving back in the Emerald Plateau from your previous downtime,
okay.
along with a certain interesting figure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I assume she probably just sends out a message to meet at the house.
Right.
Kind of awkwardly standing in the living room waiting for everybody.
So, all in your own time, you do receive a very apparently awkwardly worded message from Keta to come back from whatever strain of activities you're currently doing. Failsy, you're in a bar, you're like in a hotel somewhere. Someone you don't quite remember lying next to you.
Who are you?
I stopped caring.
You serve your purpose.
But yeah. A sketchbook full of notes of the size and shape of their head, and I mean the one on their shoulders. But
That is an oddly specific thing I can see Fail to. That's what she was doing all night. Nothing more than PG-13. She was just doing a lot of head measure.
getting ready to make a nice hat or something.
Yeah. Hat.
Hmm.
But yes. So in your all's own time, you all do receive the message to return to the household.
Yeah.
At this point, it's probably around 2 to 3 in the afternoon.
And Keta probably made tea for everybody. So hi. I need to tell you guys some things.
Hmm.
Is this mysterious figure with Keta at the moment, or
Not at the moment.
okay? So
You all
so-
hear tea brewing in the other room, and Keta is sitting in the living room by herself.
okay, but it could also be assumed that it's redemption. So
Yeah.
So, I may have found the reason why I was given that rose in the Mountain of Reflection. Through a talk with Tutilla, and I found technically a kind of portal into another realm. I guess I'm not too sure.
And of
And
course,
I-
we jumped into it.
Yes, I jumped into it. And well, I had Lee there with me, but Lee didn't come in with me. So, and
Loud.
yeah,
Oh,
but
given you're here, you didn't die, so that part's good anyway.
so apparently, I think it was himself's domain. Since it was his tree that I went into. I met a creature that I named Echo. Pretty cool, a little furry little thing. Kind of had a mask for a face, and it could let me see through the mask. And so I found the Font of Grainum.
oh,
Yes, I found the Font of Grainum in that weird other realm. I also had to fight
Yeah, that
something
makes-
called a Modor.
A what now?
It had hands. It looked like a deer, but when I put Echo's face on, it didn't look like that.
Morrigan, Brimstone, and Dravinche could actually all make nature or arcana checks about this. Because you all been exposed to areas where these things might potentially show up.
I don't know which one would be more relevant.
I'm gonna go Arcana
It-
because I have a higher
either
modifier.
No, I know. I'm just trying to think of which one's more relevant because it's the same either way.
10.
15.
5.
All right then. Morrigan and Dravinche, you don't know what it is. Morrigan, you feel like you've heard maybe like a ghost story about one before, like in the Palecrest Isles,
Mhm.
but you can't really recall anything else about them other than being a type of boogeyman-like creature.
Mhm.
Myth, you've been involved in combating one before. At least in this world, a Modor, or a Modor, pronounced a very specific way,
Mm-hmm.
is basically the product of basically infernal experimentation on some certain fae creatures, typically satyrs, that turn them into demonic entities. And they're really hard to kill.
So you fought one of those by yourself?
I mean, technically, no. I fought it with Echo attached to my face, and I could fight like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did it.
No,
Uh,
I mean,
and I also I technically fixed the font of Granum, but it got sucked into my soul. Um,
Yeah, of course it did.
yeah, and so I kind of panicked, and then I may have asked Granum to come see me.
Oh, here?
To kind of peek over towards the kitchen.
Tea's almost done.
Yeah, before you ask him any questions or anything like that, I do have a little bit more to the story. Me and him talked. I got a little frustrated, and I said, I wish I could help you. Well, I forget the exact wording, but all I really remember is that my hand glowed, I touched his face, he screamed, his head burst open, and then a black goo kind of poured out of his head.
uh, okay. Now, like, if it wasn't you saying this, I'd be a little concerned. I mean, I still am, but
Apparently, I
I
healed
mean,
I healed
that
the
happens to me
corruption.
too.
I healed the corruption that was in his head that was let in by Aquila and Ignacia when they attacked him.
well, that's convenient.
And I didn't know what I was doing. All I said was like I wanted to help and like I wanted to heal, and then it happened, and then
I mean,
I
Based
don't have the font anymore.
based on what the font's supposed to do, I guess that makes sense.
You know,
But-
people don't get better when I do that to people.
It is a strange occurrence. As Granum walks in with a tray of teacups.
It fails you might find the description a little bit interesting because so when the corruption popped out of his head, it had like 7 eyes, and it was kind of weird and wiggly and black and just kind of looked like goo, and it sunk into the ground. And then that same thing happened when I killed the Modor.
Failsy, you could make an Arcana check about that, or a History check with advantage. Because it definitely sounds familiar.
Arcana and history are the same thing for me.
So either one is appropriate. You have advantage on this one.
Read any books about it? 15.
Well, it's a good thing you have advantage.
I was in that one as well.
The history was more about reflection on yourself than it was if you'd read books about it. Because it's history. But
Personal.
you definitely have seen, or at least based purely on how Keta's describing it, you definitely feel like you've seen entities like that before whenever the well springs of magic were forced open.
Sounds familiar.
Miles,
know
you
if I should
know
be
what she's talking about?
I don't know if I should be disconcerted by that or not.
So that's what I did with my free time. What do you guys do?
Uh, I
Well, nothing
got
that exciting.
I got lost and ended up finding a potion shop.
Yeah, this place is really.
Potion shop?
I told you about this already when I gave you your gift.
I assume we haven't exchanged those yet.
That would have been up to you guys, because this is technically near the end of your downtime. So if you had already gotten that done, it would already be done.
Well, I say
I
that
think
just
you
because
technically
Morrigan.
did-
I only said that because I know Morrigan would have wanted to do so in private.
Gotcha. Yeah, stuff like the shopping and things that you and Dravince did happened on like the second and third day, and this is the fifth.
Okay, so I was unaware since we didn't discuss that. I thought that it would all kind of happen at once.
Okay, well, sorry about that. Again, there's been a lot happening this week. I've been trying to keep up with as much as I can.
No worries.
That's good. You found a potion shop and you didn't get lost forever.
That's a nice shop.
Proprietor's interesting.
Also, there's apparently a reward for the Font of Grain being found, and I don't know exactly what it is, but there's that too.
I can imagine. Oh, but so while
It's
I was out,
Isn't it a
to
meat? Yeah.
Hmm?
Sorry.
well, while I was out, I found out that there's a piece of Altea here in the Emerald Plateau.
Well, that makes sense.
How does that make sense?
Don't you remember this story?
I mean, yeah, I think they came through here. I mean,
Yeah.
something might have fallen off. Or got
That wasn't the case. No, instead I found a woodworker's shop where I think he used to try to find pieces of Altea and might have only had the one. But he's since gone senile. And I found a potion shop. And I managed to pick up a few gifts.
Are they for your girlfriend?
He just kind of glares a bit.
What?
Well, I don't know. Are you offering?
No, I have Lee. I'm not interested in you.
I'm saying that because I got you some gifts. So
What do you want?
I got a book. It's I believe the proprietor said it was written in Sylvan.
Ooh.
You say, ooh, but there's something, if Da Vinci takes it out, because it wasn't gift wrapped, unless he decided to gift wrap it after that point.
No, he wouldn't have gift wrapped it, but he would be pulling it from the bag, explicitly hiding the cover
Okay. Never mind then.
until it's given to her, in which he flips it over.
What's it say?
Alright. When he flips it over, you don't immediately see a name, but your eyes are immediately drawn to some very artistically scantily clad individuals in various positions. And you all just, in the immediate, like, stunned, Granum just leans over, is just like, oh. Interesting.
Granddad!
I don't.
He's like got an eye. He's got an eyebrow like cocked towards Da Vinci.
Once the moment Keta like holds it, Da Vinci just lets go and starts busting a gut laughing.
So, can I read that off?
Is there a book title?
No, there is no title. It just has depictions on it. It doesn't necessarily look like it was intended to be like a bound book that would be published and like printed. It looks like a book that was created for a purpose and then just found its way into other hands. For anyone who is not getting the joke, it's the Karma Sutra.
Yeah.
The Karma Sutra as it was created by the monks who originally made the Karma Sutra.
She Keta just hands over to Failsley like, that's nasty, Da Vinci.
Lee leans over as well.
Lee! Okay, no, Lee, you told me you were... No.
I figured you two could explore some things.
That's the one you did to me last night. He says, pointing at a picture on the cover.
I really didn't need to know that.
Ketch is just gonna climb underneath the table. Like, no, I'm just gonna live here now.
I mean,
I hate everything.
with the
My
size,
legs-
how did that work?
I apparently have very flexible legs.
Brimstone, what did you do to get down so we avoid this awkward conversation?
wait. I have one more gift for you.
No, I'm not gonna touch anything. I don't want to know what you've done with it, you nasty.
He's just gonna set it down next to a table, a wooden rabbit. He twists the ears, and it springs up and lands onto the table.
Yeah, like one of those mechanical frog toys that jumps whenever you wind it up. This is just basically a small wooden rabbit version of that.
There's a long movement before Ketch just reaches her hand up and grabs the rabbit and pulls it underneath the table.
I just wanted to have a bit of a joke at your expense.
Yes, Failsy in the book pocket.
And I did get something for Morgan.
Yeah, give it to your proper girlfriend.
Judge.
You can't make me.
I know I can't, but I can try. And Da Vinci is going to pull out a blue feather completely made of crystal.
Oh.
And pass it over to Morgan.
She'll take it and just holding it very delicately so as not to break it.
Oh, the crystal's tough.
Better safe than sorry. Thank you, Da Vinci.
It also has a bit of magic to it. If you ever need it, you can use it to cast Featherfall on yourself.
Oh. That could be useful, yes. She is blushing and not hiding it at all.
Also, let's see here. I got this. I'm pulling out this bottle of, what would you describe it as? Light blue or a teal?
Sort of like a teal, almost neon blue liquid. Morgan, oddly enough, you recognize this bottle.
Oh.
You saw them in Hemia's shop.
Oh, okay.
Not that bottle.
Yeah. The initial.
You couldn't actually see the color of the fluid through that bottle because the bottle was opaque.
Ah.
But this bottle is filled with like this neon teal blue substance that you remember. You remember Hemia telling you was called Feydew.
Oh, yeah.
I don't exactly know what it is, but I managed to get that as a freebie.
That's Feydew.
Do you know what it does?
If I'm remembering correctly, it's supposed to basically make you light up like a disco ball. I could.
I mean, I already have someone doing that to me already.
Reach over, touch
Just-
his knee. Cast light.
Yeah. Yeah, just suddenly make his knees start glowing. No, and then just an errant foot just quickly jabs under the table.
For the sake of this, Monogon, make an intelligence check.
Absolutely.
See if you get over a 10.
I hope I can. Oh, 19. There we go.
Not bad. That was Felixer that did that. Feydu was essentially a healing potion.
She's like, wait, no, it was another one. They both have Faye in the name. I got confused.
You remember they're specifically tied together, you were explained.
Yeah, I got confused because the other one that has Faye. Basically, if you use this and the other one that's got Faye in the name as well, it has a very good improved effect on healing.
I just want to light up like a disco ball.
And last but not least, Failsy, I've got a thing for you.
Oh?
It's
I've noticed
got-
that you liked fiddling with that box. Just pulls out this very what would you describe it as, Ash?
Alright, so to describe this box, upon immediate appearance, it is around an 8-inch cube. So fairly large, all things considered. And it is actually a cube, it's not like a rectangle or anything. But each side of it has a different pattern on it with different symbols and objects attached to it. Like, one side seems to depict a magical, like, insignia of some sort of like a spell circle. One side just has 3 crystal slivers on it. I just dropped a can of soda on my keyboard. Luckily, it was mostly empty. Another side has a gear face on the front of it. One side just seems to have a small black square that's a hole into the box, but you can't see anything inside through it. It looks like a puzzle box.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the man is now a woodworker, and he, I assume, made this box. And the piece of Altia, the best I can guess, is inside it. There's one catch, though. The box requires a key to complete the puzzle. And the key is, I have no idea where. But I figured you would like to try messing with it.
Sure, I love puzzles. Although now we have 2 things with no key.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So, Danny, while writing down the feather, it is a feather of a crestfallen harpy.
Okay. I need to put that in my stuff.
Yeah, so Rabbit's been given, the Kama Sutra's been given, Feather's been given, and the puzzle box has been given to Failsy.
Okay, I'll write down that in my good stuff.
You're on Failsy with her most recent interest.
Room's done.
Mm.
Did you do anything interesting? Did you go on a date with your lady friend?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Did you just fuck? That's not how you're gonna get a girlfriend, man.
Can Da Vinci incite Brimstone?
I mean, it's very.
Is Brimstone willing to be incited? Is an important thing.
I mean, he's just going. Yeah, let's go. It's very clear that he's not telling the whole truth. Like,
Oh,
like passive insight, even if you have basic wisdom, he's not very hard to read.
oh, come on now. There's clearly more to the story.
Is she your girlfriend now?
In a manner of speaking, I suppose so. Yes.
No.
Cat's
You
out.
don't. This is weird for Brimstone. He does not do this talking around stuff. He's a very blunt man. Something is wrong with him. He might be sick.
Or he just wants to keep things private.
I mean, when you find out that the person that you're interested in is actually the reincarnated soul of your deceased fiance, yeah, it's a little fucking weird.
Oh,
I
wow.
thought you guys were married.
Yeah. Yes, but
pat.
no.
Kind of reach over, pat Brimstone's head.
Mm.
I mean,
Well, I mean, are you gonna go through it with it now?
well, I mean, she kind of asked, so yeah.
She asked you this time?
Question,
Well-
Myth: Would Brimstone be wearing Would Brimstone be wearing one of the things he was given?
Yeah, they're wearing the ring.
Yeah. You all would just happen to notice at this moment that Brimstone is wearing a ring that he's not previously been wearing.
Well, drinks all around then, huh?
Kenta stands up from the chair. I'm getting an ant. Hell yeah.
Oh, I mean, this ring is also useful. I asked her if she had anything that could help us in Failhaven, although she didn't want us to go, considering it's a dangerous place. Apparently,
Kind of romantic.
in some places illusions don't really work.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why I've got,
You won't.
that's why I've got the
specifically
disguise
in-
kits.
That's so you all are going to Failhaven.
It is an evil place.
I mean,
Bless you.
yeah,
Well,
it's not exactly the place I don't think most of us want to go, but
there's an event of great importance
Mm.
going on there, and potentially someone who is very important could get injured.
I have no reason to doubt you all after what you all have done, and especially what Keta has done.
I haven't done much.
You've done enough.
Just Da Vinci gestures to Granum. Not much.
I mean, yeah,
He's also my granddad.
She's trying to be humble. Even though she has no need to be.
I don't like being. I only did something by accident.
that doesn't mean you didn't do it, though.
That does not make the feat any less extraordinary.
Exactly. What he said.
Stumbling into
No.
majesty is still committing a majesty.
Mm,
Come on, take a bit of pride in what you've done. I mean, you were talking about earlier about presenting yourself. You gotta stand up and be proud of yourself.
Well, no, that's more so they know I'm a person and not a secret to be hidden.
Still gotta stand up for yourself.
why
So-
wouldn't they think you're? Oh, right.
She looks down the table at Brimstone and goes, "Is this what it felt like when you were kind of forced out of the army and they said you were a hero?"
No.
This feels weird. I don't like
I mean, not that I really felt like a hero, but I mean,
Even still, if you are going to go to Fellhaven, I have a word of warning to you all. And this
Mhm.
is something I should have frankly have investigated some time ago, but there's never been a push by any of my advisors to pursue the topic. Fellhaven is a place of no return. And I don't mean that in the sense that those who go there are killed. I mean, more often than not, people who enter the walls of that city do not leave it.
As in magically restricted.
As in, even when we message them and they respond, they have no desire to leave the city.
Oh, so it probably has some weird enchantment magic on it that makes you want to stay.
I've also noticed that their emotional states seem to be compromised. And I don't mean in the sense of, no offense, I don't mean in the sense of things like your aggressive at times demeanor, Keta, or
You could just see me in general.
I didn't want to say just you in general.
It's her.
I fully admit I'm an emotional fucked up mess.
Well, I mean, you're also
You're a little kid.
yeah.
Honestly, I wish you didn't have to be doing this, but it seems fate has other opinions in mind.
I'm doing it, and you know what? Fate threw me in this, and I'm not getting out.
But and again, I made no offense by this, but they tend to end up a bit more like Brimstone.
So
Even if they
Brimstone.
were, even if they were like Keta going in.
So apathetic most days. No, all the time.
He just looks apologetically at you, Brimstone, but doesn't deny the statement.
And I think he'll fully admit that.
I will burn down the city before I let that happen.
I mean, maybe.
We have to rescue the child we're supposed to be saving first. We get her out, Failsy. I don't care what you do to the city afterward. Just don't get
We
caught.
could do both.
Well, let's just not stay in the vicinity of the city for too long because it's probably gonna fuck with their heads, and you know, all of us already have something fucked up in our heads.
I will say that if you burn down a city, you'll have to have good and just cause for doing so for there not to be retaliation.
No,
If
Honestly, don't you care?
Find proof, is what I'm saying.
no offense, sir, but sometimes there's no stopping someone once they get an idea in their head.
That's why I said find proof, not don't do it.
Fair enough.
What if they're storing that weird bloody creature we saw, Failsy, there? I mean, that could be full enough reason.
Well, you'll have to bring it back with you.
Ah, well, we can't do that.
Well, then it's
No.
unfortunately not proof.
Now there's a font of wild magic at Failhaven.
There
Now,
are
is have
Many
something
fonts
to
of
do with
wild There's many fonts of wild magic all over Graynham. He like stops, realizes how weird that sounds coming from his mouth of all things.
it?
Keta starts lifting up his arm to see if he has like any pockets on him.
He's also there, sort of inspecting his skin.
He's got old man skin. So kind of. Though not really. I wish they had accepted my offer to not name this country after me.
You don't smell like wild magic.
What?
Like, suppose it does have a very bizarre smell.
Anyway,
It does.
A little bit. Like, imagine somehow experiencing every smell simultaneously at once, and that's the smell of wild magic.
That sounds
You know,
overwhelming.
I try not to think about the impossible. That's for other people.
Question: Would Da Vinci know what that smells like, given he's been in elsewhere?
Yeah, it's fucking confusing.
Oh,
It
trust me.
It actively smells the entire range of potential scents all at once, and occasionally your nose will pick one and roll with that for a few seconds before switching to the complete opposite side of the spectrum.
Trust me,
I go
it's not exactly a
cupcakes
pleasant
to
experience.
hamburgers. 5 seconds.
Is there any kind of way we could protect ourselves against that kind of enchantment magic?
Only if you find the source of it. That's the thing. I've sent people in to attempt to locate the source of it and lost them to the kingdom. But because
Oh.
I can still receive reports from them, and they simply voice their matters of not wanting to return, there is unfortunately not much I can do, and not much my advisors are willing to send forth troops into an independent nation.
Well, I mean, why don't they send somebody more powerful? I mean, if you're just sending in a scout, then, I mean, no offense, but that's just a scout.
That is unfortunately the case.
There's still people, though.
Yeah, but like, they're
It's
not.
it wouldn't even unfortunately matter if they were high or low stakes in the political eye. It is entirely a matter of the fact that they're still alive and well and responding. They're just not returning.
Do you have an idea of how long it takes before that feeling sets in, usually?
Depends on the person. The people we've actually received back, the longest they were willing to stay there, and these were fairly strongly minded people, they were able to stay there for a week.
Okay, so if we're in and out in, let's say, 3 to 4 days, it shouldn't be as much of an issue.
That's still ain't a guarantee.
Yeah, it could be also depending on the person. I mean, Brimstone might not get affected as hard as someone like me or Failsy.
I actually don't know if Brimstone will be affected at all given his general temperament. But
So-
maybe. I've never been to Fellhaven myself, at least in its current state.
I mean, would it affect you though?
Brimstone or myself?
You.
Frankly, I don't want to take the risk, Kato.
Don't
Yeah.
I mean, also given the fact you just got your memories back, I wouldn't want you to risk it. Because I don't think I could do that again.
Yeah,
No.
probably not best.
But just be careful.
Promise. Could you make sure something gets to Mom?
Certainly.
And she kind of pulls out a letter. I already had Miss Bliss send out a cake to both Mom and Aunt Andra, but, you know, it's always nice to make sure she gets a letter.
You are a good daughter.
Hopefully Aunt Indra isn't driving you too crazy.
I mean, it's Indra, so
Her promiscuity is always bizarre to me, but I will not fault her for it. It is the lifestyle she chose.
I hope I get to see her soon. But we have things to do. You probably have a lot of things to do, and your supervisors are probably asking why you went away.
Yes, they most certainly are.
It's good to see you, though, and thank you for coming.
Always for you, Kato.
Pardon me, Granum.
Yes.
Just want to ask a couple questions. Given your memories are back, I'm guessing you know what happened to Thea?
They're returning. I'm piecing them back together. It was not as if healing the damage just undid the injury. It's a slow return. I'm starting to remember bits and pieces of what happened. But-
How much did Keta tell you about our experiences out in the desert?
In her own rambling way, a lot, but that doesn't mean I was able to understand too much of it. But that is currently your time is of the essence, so I'll receive information about it in due time.
We were told that the ways to resurrect Altia involves bringing pieces of her back to the labyrinth we were in. Now, some of those pieces are being used as a net to hold the Lavani Jezebeth in place. Do you know if that creature is still alive if the net is removed? What happened to it?
It would be hard to say. I have to imagine at this point that Aquila, if he's even able to, has probably killed the thing. I remember it did still move for a long time, back when we were first founding our nations.
We've been walking on a corpse.
Yay, corpse
He
people.
just looks down. The unfortunate thing about that, Cat, is big or small, you're walking on corpses constantly.
Yeah. It's kind of how nature works.
Exactly.
Now another option was provided to try to find people or beings that are similar to Altia. That she apparently came from the stars above, and that there are creatures similar to her on these lands.
Yes. Optia's original rival. He sort of like pauses and thinks. She fell from the starless sky. It sounds like legend, but it's true. Ripped a hole through the starless sky, bringing rise to the night's beauty, by tearing forth the veil of evening. It was only by her direct arrival as well that we received our son.
Really?
Yes. In a lot of ways, she's the reason a lot of things happened. And I don't even know if she intended it.
Now one of these beings, apparently on Kingfisher Isle. Do you know of any other being like her anywhere else?
I do remember a second starfall, but I never learned more of it. It fell under Aquila's rule.
Hmm. And this is my final question. We were all told that we have a bit of corruption in each of us, and I was told, what would she say? Apparently, I had a bit of other worlds in my blood. I have no idea what she was even saying.
Who is she?
Sky!
No.
Hmm?
The corruption part was Sky.
Yeah.
The bits
The
of
name
other
that you-
worlds.
to the labyrinth entity. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Making sure I have
bits,
information correct.
the bits of other worlds was a local potion seller by the name of Hemia.
She's still alive.
Yes, she is.
You see his face like make a like wide-eyed expression for like a half second, just like almost like a damn expression.
She's a very interesting person and well versed in history.
She's from my era.
Wait, what?
Oh, damn, she's old.
Well then. Hmm, Um. So are you? I'm trying to rack my head as to how I could have had any of this. Do you? Are you able to see? Hmm, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Are you
True
able
forms?
to? Kinda true forms. The condition of others. Like, would you know why or how we have corruption in us?
I'm a healer. I could potentially remove it after I've regained my strength. But as for discovering its source, you'd likely have to go to someone with a bit more sight than I.
I think I may know who, or the thing. I don't know. I'm not too sure what Echo is. But I could see what the motor really looked like when I put on their mask. So maybe that could help. I don't know.
Perhaps.
But also, I don't want my corruption removed because I think that's the essence of what I am.
Perhaps. On that note, I believe I have to go.
Yep, that was my final question. Thank you for your time.
Teta gives him an extra long hug.
The kind of hug where he has to kind of start walking towards the door while you're still hugging.
Yes, and after a few seconds, she does let go and then pouts a little bit and goes, "I'll see you when I get to the bastion. We'll talk about the reward and all then."
It will be a grand one, I assume.
Depends.
Well, the best wording I know of it is simply stated, whatever you desire.
Well, we do have a lot to do. And bye.
Be safe.
I promise. Mom would kill me if I'm not.
You're going to Fellhaven, it's already broken.
Yeah.
I'll make sure she doesn't know, though.
Yeah, I think that's more also for all our sakes.
Mhm.
Yep. And he walks out the door.
Well, I didn't tell you guys beforehand all that happened. I just got really panicked.
Well, at least it turned out better for the end.
Yeah, I ended up healing my granddad. And I think I used a very powerful ability. So there's that. Well, we should get our stuff ready.
Oh, reminds me. Here, Keta, take these away. I hate them.
What?
She horns off a pair of gauntlets onto you.
Are they finished?
Yes, and I hate.
Well, what did they do? Are they the gauntlets that you said they were? She says as she puts them on.
Failsy, you can now introduce your magical item you've created.
Oops. The gauntlets of friendship.
Oh God.
Yes, Failsy had succeeded enough in the creation of these to cause the enchantment to branch.
Oh.
My
So
school of enchanting, whenever you create a magical item and have a certain amount of critical successes, provided that they are not countered by critical failures, which luckily Failsy did not have any key critical failures, there is a chance that the enchantment will gain additional effects based on a roll provided. Failsy was given a couple of options, though given no context for what those options were, and chose branch. As you can see on the chat window right now, you can see what branch does. At least for specifically this magical item.
Additionally, the item can be attuned by 2 separate individuals, each expending one of their attunement slots, and granting them up to +2 bonus to their strength while wearing just 1 gauntlet, not exceeding 19. While 2 individuals are attuned to the pair of gauntlets, and both are wearing 1, if either of the pair assists the other on a strength-based ability check, or any strength-related task, they treat their strength score as if it were 19, and their size category as large.
Oh shit.
so their baseline gauntlets of ogre power.
Yes, while you are wearing both of them, they function exactly as gauntlets of ogre power and nothing else. While
Okay.
2 different people have them on, they function as that.
Could you send that to me then, Failsy?
It's
In a
in the
DM.
chat window.
Well, no, as a DM.
Okay. You
Yeah.
could copy it from the chat window.
My thing does not like copying from Roll20. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
Kit is gonna wiggle and go, look how cool they look! I mean, they're a little heavy, but
I do also have a picture for them.
Yeah, he did art.
So
I'm gonna be super strong now.
Which I completely forgot to put as a handout in the game. I'm sorry. Alright then. Yeah, Ketsa, you don't specifically feel any stronger while you're wearing them, even after you tune to them.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you go to do something that would normally be super heavy, and for some reason it's really light.
I did it. I'm strong. Kind of.
Mildly worried that you might accidentally snap your guitar half if you're not careful.
And I'll put it into the game chat or mugshots.
Anything.
Also, Dad said that I'm supposed to get a letter. Well, not letter. I'm not too sure what I'm supposed to get. It's something sent by the bird. When we're out. So if you see a bird flying around, let me know. Because it probably has something for me. I talked with him about armor, and then he said I was supposed to get some, so it might be armor.
Getting armor.
Yeah, look at. Well, after I fought that creature, I could feel what it was like to wear the kind of armor that my dad does, and like it felt cool. I could wield a sword, Da Vinci.
I mean, the kind of armor that your dad wears is also incredibly heavy.
But yeah, but like, it's not gonna be that kind of armor, but it was nice to feel protected.
I personally don't see the appeal.
And I mean, besides,
Da Vinci, that's all because we've seen you like dance around arrows.
yeah. Last time I
Not-
checked, I get them in my chest and like in my back. You can't dance around them.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. That's why I'm getting armor.
Gets paid. I like how Lee's just been in the background this whole time.
It's not even in the background, he's just right next to you guys.
Oh, I know. He
doesn't
just
like
hasn't
to talk
been saying
with
anything.
Graham around.
Yeah.
Dash Granddad.
Also, I may have talked with Granddad a little bit about what Lee is, or a little bit about Lee, and I asked him if he could just help kind of slightly smooth things over with Mom when it comes to talking to her about him.
Well, your mom seemed to like me.
Oh, no, it's not about that. It's not about that.
Oh. I'm confused.
Just
worry about
don't worry about it.
I'm good at that.
Do we need anything else before we head out?
There is one thing I would like to comment on in terms of heading out. So, I teleported myself, Failsy, Madame Elway. Where is she?
Oh, she was at well, last time I remember she was still at the bar. She got very drunk.
Okay.
She's at the Red Card Cafe.
Yeah.
How did I not see her in all my times there?
I mean, me and Lee saw her.
Probably because she didn't want you to see her.
Regardless.
Elevie and Treva, we teleported all the way over to the Castaway,
Mhm.
and that went fine. But last time, with 8 people, unfortunately, I tried to get Fenris in on it, but it just wouldn't accept 9.
I feel
At
like I'm
least
about to be told I have to stay behind.
I don't want you to.
Well, maybe we.
I'm just extending out that potentially the more people the watch teleports, the more it stretches itself. So we have to take into account that we're going to be going there and then leaving with +1 person.
Well, maybe we don't have to take Elsnig or Elway with us.
Yeah, not taking Osnig, Elway, and
Fenris.
well, Fenris is on the card.
Yeah, but like we don't.
Charles, that's it.
Yeah, we don't need to take them. I think it might be best to have Lee with us because, despite him not being smart, he is good at talking to people.
Well, there's different kinds of smart.
Yeah, he's
It's-
smart.
Also, if you're forgetting, we actually need to take him with because we need to make him have a dip in a wild magic font.
I only bring it up because I feel like if we want to add more people than just us or people who need to go, there could be increased risk of us getting lost again or something else.
Well, I mean, if we cut it down by those 3, then it should be cut down by a little bit, and then we just bring the girl with us then. And then that's just adding 1 back on.
Everyone accept the risk?
Yeah.
Well, I hate the idea, but we're out of time.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, I can also talk to Gladriel now. I can speak Sylvan.
I mean, couldn't you do it before?
No, I talked to him in Celestial.
I think you could talk to Galadriel before.
Fuck yeah!
Okay.
Now she can do it in 2 languages.
It's 2 more than I can, so.
Well, I've got some things, so. Okay, I'm ready for us to. I think I'm ready for us to go if you guys are.
Let's do it outside because, probably might not want to leave marks in the house for Dad to clean up.
I'm gonna go get dressed if we're heading straight to Fairhaven.
Yeah, so we should probably
Yeah.
get. Right.
Everyone put on your disguises.
All right. So you all get properly equipped, I say, in the sake of expedition.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Da Vinci's walking around looking like a hobo.
Oh, we went with the hobo ones this time. Okay.
Keta looks a bit more like a traveling musician with her hair kind of pinned up in a very kind of specific pattern.
Yep. Gotta cover the nubs.
Yes, gotta cover the nubs.
Morrigan, I assume you don your sun hat.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty then.
Felsy's wearing her full covering clothes.
Felzy rocking that bloodborne attire.
Yep, and she has the mask of many faces cocked to the side of her head.
Alrighty.
So it's on her head, but it's not covering her face yet.
Gotcha.
If there's a way Morrigan could have the hat on without not having activated it yet, she would have it on. That
It's
way.
essentially once it's like properly like set
What?
on top of your head, it activates. So you can just sort of like cock it to the side and it won't activate.
Yeah, so she's just kind of like got it cocked where she can just grab it and just go tunk, and it'll turn on basically.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Sounds like you're all prepared. Except
Yes,
for maybe
it's-
armored, because I think an IRL person just came into his domicile.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Crap, I
roommate.
forgot to mute myself.
it's okay.
But yes, someone stopped by.
I assume Lee's gonna wait to make himself look human. We don't waste too much time on his spell.
Pretty. I mean, he already looks human. You're not really sure how or when he did it, but he does look human.
Yeah, he just kind of does it.
Okay, I'm good. I'm good.
Yes. Okay, so now hobo with a pocket watch.
Yep.
We're all ready with our disguises.
Hold hands.
Morrigan, the apple.
Yeah. And she gets it out.
I really hope this works and that we can find her quickly.
As do I.
Alrighty then. Using the apple as a focus, you watch as the sort of pinpoints sort of shift on the watch's face and locks onto a location. You're going to activate it.
Altia, protect us. Click.
All right. Please roll for me the initial point of failure. 1d100. And let me check.
9.
Oh shit.
I don't even need to check how many people you have.
Oh shit. That's either good or bad. I don't know.
That's
It-
bad because that's a point of failure.
It means the watch has a mishap. I'm going to see what it is.
Okay, yeah, that's for the watch, not the actual spell.
I thought that was a spell. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
spell.
Yeah. So was X. I was like, I think it's fine because we have the associated object for the watch.
The watch itself has a chance of failing before the actual spell is ever even
Yeah,
cast.
yeah. I just wasn't sure which happened first.
All right.
Okay, so
You
which
all feel
watch first?
a bizarre sensation as the watch starts to activate. And much has happened before, you all individually start to blink out of existence.
Oh,
no.
God.
Damn it!
Dravinche, you were the last one to disappear.
No,
So you
no,
get
no,
to-
no.
Alrighty then. This is not the same option as before, but that's simply how it teleports you whenever it has a mishap.
One at a time.
Oh no.
Just so you can realize what happened.
Just so we can really let the dread set in.
Just the dread. Just a little bit of dread.
All Okay.
I like to think that Felzy was the first one to disappear. She's just sort of muttering, "This is fine. This is fine. This is fine." Doop.
All right, you all reappear together. You see You see a large stone citadel in the distance. Though it's really bizarre, you're looking down at it.
Are we falling?
Yeah, you suddenly realize you're probably a good. Oh no, you're probably a good. Doing math in my head. About 500 to 600 feet in the air.
Well, but Da Vinci is going to blow all of his for level 1 spell slots, and Motogun has the feather.
Mm-hmm.
Just feather fall, feather fall, feather fall, feather fall.
Well, feather
Well, you
fall.
use it
Up to
once.
5. Yeah, it's up to 5 creatures.
Oh, I did not read the up to 5 creatures. Okay, good to know.
Felzy has
Uh,
wings.
I mean that works on you and everyone except for Motogun because you do know she has the item.
Yes.
She can use it on herself because there are 6 of you, including
Mhm.
Lee.
Hell, hey, that present was oddly good.
Yeah. So
Just
immediate panic followed by slow and careful descent. You are not over the city, by the way. You're on the outskirts of the city.
Okay.
Just at the moment they start falling, Da Vinci does a corkscrew in the air, and suddenly everyone's slowly falling.
Imagine Modigan's like starts the slow fall a second later because she's just like, oh crap, and then remembers the feather.
All right. And as you guys are slowly drifting downwards, I'd like to invite our guests to unmute themselves.
Oh boy.
Ooh,
Because-
new person.
Because, Chiffon, you see a bunch of people suddenly appear in the sky and start slowly drifting downwards.
Holy shit.
They're not too terribly far away from you. You are standing on this little hillside that's overlooking the city of Fellhaven, just giving it a second to observe things while these just random group of 6 people blinked into existence, halfway in your line of sight, and then just slowly drift down about 100 feet away from you.
Well, that's not something you see every day.
Okay, everything's good. Everything's good.
I mean, is falling good?
That is twice you fucked up.
We're not falling to our deaths. I've got it covered. And look, we've got a great view of the city.
And Chiffon, you recognize these people as a group of individuals you recently met in the forest outside of the Emerald Plateau. You shared breakfast with them.
Oh, friends. Well, in that case, I'm gonna head right over there. Gonna greet them as they land.
One of them is actually wearing a shirt this time.
The human male who oddly enough, well, right now there's more than one human male that you can see, but the human male, last time you met him, wasn't wearing a shirt. This time you met him, wearing a shirt. It's an improvement in some cases.
He also looks like a hobo.
Less of an improvement.
So when they get to land, Kata's just gonna shake her head and go, "Okay, I hate flying. I hate flying. I just hate flying."
It is an unnatural way to travel for certain.
Chiffon?
Howdy. Been a while.
What?
Your banjo's back.
What?
Just plays a little drum on it.
This is
Fancy meeting you out here.
yeah. This is Verso. This is the individual that I met in the woods. I was able to message them and they play a banjo. It's like super
And-
cool.
And friends with the guardian of the forest. Kind of in the Emerald Plateau.
That's why she said she was coming to Failhaven. Oh, that makes more sense now.
Chiffon, you actually know that Tutilla is just over that hillside you were just standing on?
Should I whistle for her?
Yeah, you could.
Just a long, whistle. Just my lip. I'm eating right now.
Fair enough. So you all watch as Tutilla's head just rises up over the side of the hill.
See, that one I recognize.
Ketchup waves.
Da Vinci will wave.
Just sort of nods at you all before starting to do a very terrifying scuttle down the hillside in her giant form.
What are you doing here, Chiffon?
Oh, little of this, little of that. The usual. Wandering. Nothing in particular.
Well, that's good. At least you're safe. Last time we saw you, I almost thought you were gonna get in danger.
Oh, that happens all the time. It's nothing to worry about.
Quite the coincidence that we'd come across our paths again this way.
I mean, Chiffon said before they're a wanderer. Don't stay in one place for too long.
It's true. I do wander. Just don't like to be tied down. Don't fence me in, as they say.
Oh, trust me, I know that all too well.
But aren't you technically tied down by being... I don't know if you're technically... I don't know if you're...
Mhm.
Pardon?
No, you're okay. I mean, you're the tall lady?
Have an open relationship.
Okay. I didn't know.
We're heading our way over to that city out over there.
Oh, what a coinkydink. That's where I'm heading to.
Well, then let's not waste time. Let's
Let's
Joey,
amble
walk and talk.
together. Yeah. Might as well have a little company for the road.
Yeah.
So, Ad, you were gonna say something?
I was just kind of letting you guys roll with it because you got a little bit of a jam going there.
Just as they start walking. So, what have you two been up to on the road these days?
The usual. Just, ambling, singing my songs, selling my junk. It's what you do. Getting hunted by things, but that's not unusual.
Any encounters on the way here from the Emerald Plateau?
It's fairly smooth sailing.
I ran into this thing. Pardon me, having a snack. You just pull a jerky out of a bag.
Hey, what?
No.
Traveling,
I ran into this
makes you hungry.
whopper of a halfling, the biggest damn halfling you ever saw. Maybe they just weren't a halfling, but they insisted. Look, that the proportions were right. But I swear they were taller than I was, and he could fish like nobody's goddamn business.
A halfling.
Just a real big ass halfling.
I mean, they do like to fish.
Are you selling anything interesting today?
Now I am so pleased you asked me that, because if you give me a minute, he starts unpacking things. Now, see, this is a real beauty. This is a ocarina I made out of a coyote skull. And if you notice how I filled the holes with raw turquoise, it's real lovely. It makes a great sound. Go ahead, try it out.
Just starts unpacking the large pack on their back.
Brimstone is just staring at this person, so confused.
If Keta is allowed, she'll pick up the ocarina and say, "Oh, this is a very interesting instrument."
Absolutely, Chiffon very much encourages you to try out the wares. If you break it, you bought it, though. Fair warning.
How much for this?
I don't know the currency in this game.
It's standard D&D currency, like gold, silver, platinum, copper.
A-monies.
Tell you what, I'll give you that for 50 gold and a favor. To be decided in the future.
Could I trade you?
What you got?
And she's gonna pull out 2 bloodstones and show them off. I can also paint you a portrait.
Oh hell, I love that.
I'm a very good artist.
I'll take it. Deal.
So Keta will hand over the 2 bloodstones and take out her sketch pad and get to work on sketching Chiffon.
The ocarina is called the Sick Puppy, by the way.
That's pretty good.
I love it.
Would you like candy? I got a lot of candy on me too.
Oh hell yeah! Never say no to food of any variety.
Even if it burns your mouth?
Especially.
Oh, you're gonna see if you can get her to try one of those, aren't ya?
No,
Sorry.
Keta hands over maple candy. These are some of my favorites. I'm kind of an expert on candy.
I don't know.
I never met an expert on candy. I would love to hear your stories.
That would take all day.
Trust us. She will.
Well. And then Keta's just gonna get to work on trying to figure out how this instrument works, too.
How
Okay, so, y'all do me a favor. Chiffon has met you before, but I have not.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
if you
please
could sort of describe yourself to me real quick.
Should we go down the line?
Yeah, that'd probably be
Sure.
the easiest way and most orderly way to do it.
Alright, so Keta is about 5 foot, kind of like tan, very kind of bronze colored skin with a pink undertone. Her hair is like brownish black at the roots and then just violently pink. Violently pink. And she's dressed a bit more like a traveling musician with a guitar slung across her back. And just a couple of just bags on her belt that have candy. And it's a lot.
So Da Vinci is let me just pull it up. A human male, 5'8", with green eyes, tan skin, and black hair. When Chiffon originally met him, he was wearing a very stylish kind of belly dancer outfit with a bunch of sparkly bits on him and jewelry. This time around, he's wearing just your most standard kind of hobo look with a big overcoat. The only thing that's fancy about him is the occasional bit of jewelry peeking out from underneath the coat and the big old silk cloak he has.
Damn shame. Chiffon really liked that previous outfit. That's the kind of thing Chiffon would wear.
Very liberating.
That is his favorite outfit. It's just out of character. He wanted to look as poor as possible to be unnoticed in this place.
Relatable.
As an unassuming homebody.
Alright, so my turn now?
Yep.
Morrigan is a tiefling woman. She's got the so dark a gray, might as well be black in color, skin, the stereotypical devil horns and devil tail that both, as they get closer to the end, they gradate from black to red. And she has red eyes, and she has a habit of wearing red lipstick that matches the shade of her eyes perfectly. And she's yet, I imagine she hasn't activated the hat quite yet, so, the clothes she has put on right now for sake of, slightly colder climate where they would be at the moment, is she's just got on the more practical clothing she picked up in the Emerald Plateau so very many sessions ago. So just like basically the baggy gray turtleneck and the black pants that would do quite easily. Like it's hard to sorry, I got tongue tied.
Happens to everyone.
She's wearing sturdy black pants is what I'm trying to say. And I don't remember what the outfit that came with the disguise whenever she activates the hat, so... But the hat itself, it looks like a standard straw sun hat, and it has lilies on it.
Oh, cute.
Oh, and hair color-wise, she is the stereotypical tiefling with white hair. Which I believe that might... I don't know. She's got white hair.
I can post a picture of her and Dravenche doing the dance.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, let me.
I have it.
Good work. While y'all are doing that, Failsy.
Failsy is a 5'6" tiefling. Dark
That's adorable.
purple skin, light green horns. Generally, she wears a sort of short skirt and crop top type outfit. But at the moment, she's wearing a heavy Victorian raincoat. And looking like she just walked out of Bloodborne.
Yeah, fails these real Bloodborne hours right now.
And it's not working at the moment, but she has a white mask attached to the side of her head. Because magic doesn't work around Tutilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, magic is weird around Tutilla. You'd be aware of that, Chiffon. Tutilla has weirdly enough, has an area around her where magic just doesn't work.
Which does bring me to question: how cold is it here?
Not very. You're fairly close to the equator near Fellhaven, so it's fairly temperate. Even in autumn, it's still fairly warm.
Oh, I thought it was going to be pretty cool out here.
It is a little cool because you're also near an ocean, but it's about the same temperature as where you left from. All right, Myth.
Yeah. I had to find my picture. I had to find the picture because otherwise I was like, So, Brimstone is another tiefling. Surprise, we have a lot of tiefling.
I am not.
It's that one. This kind of almost like poison green skin. Very immediately, it looks like part of his left arm is on fire. Just an inch thick band of red hot metal.
Worrying.
Although he doesn't seem too bothered by it. Leather armor, bluish clothes, a holster on his hip with what looks like a gun. I don't know how familiar Chiffon is with those. So
Passing knowledge.
yeah,
Depends on if they've been used to try and kill them before.
You've definitely had like a long rifle pointed at you before, and maybe like a basic like single shot pistol. So his pistol looks different.
Enough to recognize the general shape, and then what looks like a long rifle kind of slung over one shoulder, and then them lovely glass boots, although they should be yellow.
They really should.
I forgot.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I say with
It
utter
has,
contempt.
And just kind of looking at Chiffon with just the most bewildered expression of just, okay.
What were you
Okay,
going
has-
to ask? Sorry.
I was holding to talk is causing me some difficulties.
Fair.
I was going to say, had Jem talked to you about what Chiffon looks like at all? Or much, because I have art.
They were described before. However, as you are the character's creator, I would love if you would also describe them in your words.
That plus, I wasn't there.
Yes, you also were not there.
There's some doodles that I've done of them, but that's from when they're a Homestuck troll rather than what they are now. So I haven't thought about what they would look like differently, actually.
As previously described, they actually don't look too different. Just appearance-wise, they're very similar. Like, I think the only difference I stated before was that the horns actually look more like bone, like white ivory colored. As opposed to being candy corn horns.
Ah, but it would be really fun.
Yes, but it also wouldn't make a lot of sense.
They sound cute though. Maybe they paint them to make it, to make it more flashy.
Hey, that's up to you.
So most of their jewelry is painted wood or cheap costume jewelry. They like to look flashy, but they're broke.
Fair.
Flashy at a glance, broke upon examination.
I imagine Dravince's eyes would just immediately note that.
Dravince giving Chiffon the side eye of just, that ain't real.
Yeah, because Dravince, that art critique, are actually jeweler.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm really excited because I had to.
Like I said, no, I don't think we can adopt them.
What else do you have, Chiffon?
Instruments are my main thing. I got all manner of drums and pipes and whatever else I can put together from scavenge. I make all of this myself. And I also got like some spare skins and whatnot that I picked up and haven't used yet.
Are you a bard?
Could call me that, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm a bard.
Did notice the instrument. I would love to have a little jam session with you when we can.
Yeah. I miss playing like last time. Your band was really cool. And then Keta goes back to duding and like almost like running out of breath.
Just hyperventilating.
I've tried to play an ocarina before, and like after a while, it's just like my lungs hurt.
Ocarina is one of the only things I can actually play well because the music for it is just like fingering positions rather than notation because I can't read music notation to save my life. Chiffon can't either. It's one of their great like shames is they cannot read sheet music. They have to learn by ear.
I mean, that's
Neither-
still impressive, so.
Yeah.
They have perfect pitch, but absolutely no ability to read sheet music.
Fair.
If it makes you feel better, neither could Michael Jackson.
It's a weird example.
Than you
But
think.
fair.
To be fair, the only reason I can read sheet music is just because I was forced to learn.
So there's no specific reason you're here. You're just kind of wandering around in Failhaven.
Oh yeah, as you do. My accent changed there. Sorry.
I mean,
So-
word of advice since we've heard it, you probably don't want to stay here too long.
Oh, I never stay anywhere too long.
Well, it more so it kind of this place changes your head. Makes you
You know, I
apathetic.
found many a fine city can do that. You know, you spend a little time there, and it's just your whole perspective changes.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
There's this little town I ran into up in the mountains one time. Had the most gorgeous goddamn views, and I could have just sat there for hours just looking at that. And you come out of that experience, you feel a little smaller, a little more connected with the universe. And also I fell down a hole in that place. Found the strangest thing. I'll tell you about it another time.
Wow, this is sounding more and more like
He-
when I tried to leave the house.
But trust me, though, I definitely get that. Having traveled up north, you end up with some. There was this one place that ended up getting to climb this really tall tree and see over top of a giant forest.
How does everybody get to do things so cool, and then I'm just here like I'm playing my guitar.
You gotta go looking for trouble. That's the only thing. Sometimes you gotta be like, this is gonna suck, and I'm probably gonna hurt myself, and I'm gonna do it anyway.
And I spent years traveling for occupation and otherwise.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it because that's mean. I'm trying not to be mean.
Okay, go on, say it.
I mean, is being a hoe an occupation at times?
Absolutely.
Yes.
People do get paid to do that, yes.
Tutilla shrugs.
I just love how this immediately backfired.
That's why I didn't also say it because it sounded mean.
Oldest
You
profession
just
in the world.
Yeah, you just didn't know, that's all.
It happens.
Do you two have ways to disguise yourselves? Because I don't know if they're gonna quite like the sight of you. It's nothing against you both, but we all have disguises here. I know Lee over here doesn't look like much, but he originally is an orc.
I mean, wouldn't he look different?
He looks like a
Tutilla?
human.
Oh. Well, never mind now.
I'm just worried because I don't want you guys to get hurt.
Also, Tutilla is no longer in sight.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
no,
Where'd
okay.
she go?
Oh,
I don't
she just
think-
wandered off. Don't worry about it. She'll come back. And actually, no, I got a number of ways to keep myself out of sight. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we just heard that this place isn't exactly the most welcoming to just kind of gestures to the rest of the party.
Why are you being so gentle about it? They're all racist bastards. Or at least
Well,
enough. You know.
That's nothing new for me. And I ain't yet met a place that was able to hold me there for very long, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Well, that's good at least.
Can we take a break after falling? My legs kind of feel weird.
Well, we still technically have our 4 days. I think stopping to rest for a second actually wouldn't hurt anything at all.
You guys are probably, at this point, nearing the actual gatehouse of the outer wall. So this would be an excellent moment to take a break.
Yay!
Yee.
Fuck, I've had to hold onto that for like fucking 3 weeks. Fuck.
Oh yeah, because Andy actually found out that Chiffon was going to be the guest character.
Yeah, because she told Tutilla where she was going, and then Tutilla said, "Well, I'm going there," and then I was like, "Oh, okay."
All right, but yee. Iron, it's amazing to have you with us.
Yes, it's so great to have you.
Amazing to be here.
I just wanted to say that before we officially go on bio break.
Yes. So everyone, if you have to, go use the bathroom, go get yourself a snack, go get yourself a drink. Stay hydrated, you crazy people.
How excited Andy is.
Listen, Chiffon is one of my favorite previously NPCs that we met.
No, I just think it's funny. The
I'll
immediate
just
shift from
apologize. I would just like to apologize for not knowing what the fuck is going on at any point, though. I'm gonna be bullshitting a lot.
I mean,
I mean, it's 100% fine.
that's
mostly
also
because
like
half of this
100%
world
what
is-
we do.
Yeah, half of this world is built upon me making your bullshit make sense.
Yeah,
It's held together with duct tape and prayers.
I mean, that's what happened in the Friday game with Myth. I just made up so much bullshit. He just decided, you know what? An entire continent is canon because of you.
mm-hmm.
That's good shit.
Anyway, well, let's try to meet back up in 5 to 10, folks.
See you then.
I also found out that armor can't do accents.
Yes, I cannot do I cannot do a consistent accent to save my life unless I am drunk and then I go redneck.
I mean, I guess that is technically an accent, yes.
I'm generally pretty good at accents, but I do the Minnesota accent a lot just for fun. You know,
Sometimes
Casually
you
at
just
home?
get stuck.
so sometimes I just slip into it without realizing.
Also, I am sorry for the whole energy spike that is just me.
She is her
Nothing to
character.
apologize for there.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Keta and Andy are pretty close to each other.
We are both fueled by sugar.
Mm-hmm. Sugar and cute animals.
It's a good thing to be fueled by.
I mean, I mean, I probably should amend that. Sugar and the prospect of seeing and then petting cute animals and not by eating them.
So I now have a question. How many checks am I gonna have to roll to be proficient with an ocarina?
A lot. That's an interesting instrument to learn how to play if you've never played a woodwind instrument.
Approximately an ocarina's worth of checks.
How many buttons are there in an ocarina? That many.
Didgeridoo.
You need to succeed on a check just for each button.
Right now, it's just a lot of like
The
unharmonious.
the sick puppy is a 6-hole ocarina, I believe.
I just like that it's called that.
I think I can find a photo of it if you give me a second.
My instrument that I naturally have is a guitar, an acoustic guitar. And it's just very nature themed. I could summon acorns out of my guitar.
Yes,
I know, it's great.
such a Keta thing to do.
Well, I can't help that the Conjure Barrage is either pine cones or acorns.
No, I know. It's such a Keta thing.
Oh, yes. Keta's nubs are actually not visible, so she just looks like a person. Keta has baby nubs.
Use nub.
Just nub.
Yep.
Yep,
Keta,
yep,
is,
yep, yep.
Keta is nub. Until she
will just-
alters herself. And then +1 nubs.
Then stronger nubs.
Got those +1 nubs.
+1 babies.
I'm just going to say this. I'm admittedly concerned because 2 party members have their disguise plan be a magic item that casts an illusion. And we've got not only Totila, but apparently certain parts of this place dispels illusion.
Altus, I think Altus Self is
Alter Self is a transmutation spell.
Yeah, alter self is
Okay.
Disguise self is.
Also, I think the hat actually turns Morrigan into that form. It doesn't disguise her as that form, but I can't remember.
Okay, good. So, wait, question. What's what's Brimstone's disguise?
That's up to him.
Well, I joked a while back that Brimstone could be a weedy troll. Not a weedy troll, a weedy orc.
No. It's just Brimstone. He just doesn't. He looks like a person. Or like he looks like a human rather than a tiefling.
He's not very creative.
No,
So
he's not.
So he basically wears face paint. He wears white face.
No.
Awful. I mean, funny, but awful.
Oh hell yeah! Hell
No.
yeah!
No, that's what the ring's for.
That was actually made by a Native American craftsman that I know from a campground that I go to regularly.
I love it.
So I guess
Wouldn't-
just the actual like cranial cavity is the ocarina.
Yup.
That's really cool.
I'm admittedly reminded of the guy who makes a ocarina out of like potatoes and mangoes.
Potato ocarina.
I mean, sustainable.
Ash,
Eat it afterwards. What?
didn't you mention that Iron was the one that actually did up the art of Lee that you showed us initially?
Yeah, Iron is the one who actually did Lee's art.
I just have to thank you for that, for those that picture. He is my favorite NPC.
Gee, really?
Fuck off, Myth.
No.
Really?
One of the one that I from the Lavani I played with you. From that
Yeah,
campaign?
the second to original playthrough of this campaign setting.
Ah,
Listen, Myth, you're allowed to gush over Bliss. I'm allowed to gush over Lee.
I'm not saying you're not, just really.
Yeah, so Lee is fairly hairy, but he's not quite bear territory yet.
Yet.
Just really. The boyfriend of your character is your favorite NPC. Who'da thunk?
I like to think I make a lot of enjoyable NPCs.
It's just also the fact that he's stupid, but he's lovably stupid.
He's just a himbo. That's entirely what.
Pure himbo energy.
Yeah, that's entirely what Lee is.
Just like Bliss is a sexy librarian, but like is actually pretty cool.
And incredibly awkward.
She's great.
It's adorable.
Keta can't wait to have an aunt.
I didn't explain all the other NPCs to Ellie. So it's going to be a lot of name drops that aren't going to make a lot of sense, and I'm sorry, but they
That's
weren't going to
okay.
be. They weren't going to be
I'm a-
involved in this. So
Yeah.
I'm a flake, so I'll just assume you told me about them and I forgot anyway.
I mean,
She'll nod and play along, and
I can imagine most of the name drops we would have would just be Chiffon would assume, oh, that's a friend of theirs.
it's the only assumption one can make, really.
Yeah, just
With-
kind of like,
With a few,
wait,
with,
like,
the,
yeah, that's right.
with maybe a few exceptions, like if we name drop Granum.
Did you mention to Iron actually how the party met Chiffon?
I know I did when it initially happened and explained how it went down, but that's been
a bit.
A bit, yeah. Since
2
That
to
was
December.
3 months. Oh, that was
Yeah, I
6
have-
months ago.
Yeah,
I
because
have
that
a
was
vague memory
that was while
of that happening.
I wasn't playing really, and that was in December.
Yeah. God, that was 6 months ago.
Almost 7.
Yeah.
That-
It-
That's absurd to think about.
It's just the enjoyable thought that we managed to find Chiffon by them playing the banjo, and then Kat is like, I want to find that instrument. And being
Yeah.
determined and using message in the most weirdest way possible.
And Da Vinci teleporting himself, Morrigan, and attempting to teleport the other two who were potentially getting themselves killed because Failsy kept trying to attack Totila.
In my
Unsuccessful.
defense,
You know,
it looked like a wisp, and we were out hunting wisps.
it just dawned on me why it's called the sick puppy. I'm not a smart person.
Yes.
I'm also
Just a bit.
It happens.
just like, oh, I get it.
So sick it's dead.
Do I want to dent the floor with this?
Don't.
I generally recommend against doing that.
That sounds so fucking cool.
I'm looking at that Goliath die.
Don't do that.
It sounds like a large chamber ocarina, which is a very nice sound.
I like the sound of this. It's really good.
Don't do that. Jesus. These things are fucking 4 centimeters across. Jesus.
Yeah. It's big.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Of course.
I just wonder how much opening versus closing the jaw affects the sound.
It definitely would have to do something to how the thing vibrates.
What is the doot factor when between open and close?
Dude factor.
Dude factor.
But no, the guy who made Sick Puppy was kind of an inspiration for Chiffon in general, because that guy really does just sort of wander around using any like scrap he scavenges to make musical instruments. He's extremely cool.
Yee.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I think we have everybody. Do we have Failsy?
I'm here.
Yep.
No.
Nah.
Myth, you're never present mentally. Now get back in the game.
Made me look over, just like, wait, did I leave?
Made you think. Made you present. All right. So if everyone's back, we can go ahead and get back started.
Sentient thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, let us start back up.
Not just like a pure fear instinct.
All right. Just making sure everyone use the bathroom. Everyone get their sips. Everyone get the snacks.
Yes.
Yep, I'm just
Maybe.
going
No,
to
give me a minute.
pull out a fresh can of sparkling water.
I just realized most of Da Vinci's stuff, like weapons wise, is very pretty and ornate.
And he's a hobo right now.
And he's supposed to be a hobo. Yeah.
I had that like that fancy sparkling water that you have like the little paper on top and you have to take it off.
Oh, San Pellegrino?
Yes, and I cannot find it anywhere right now, and it's fucking killing me. It's really good.
That stuff is so good. What'd you get? Lemon?
It was
Orange?
lemon. It
Oh,
was
the
lemon.
lemon's so
It was at my college. It was like we have the fucking healthy fucking snack machines. So it was like,
Cinnamon, lemon.
It's an automatopoeia right there.
What?
so I was like, oh, Armored mentioned this, so I'm gonna get it.
Got cinnamon flavored water.
You and your false attempt to drink soda.
I am back with lemon.
Okay, I switched to drinking sparkling water because I wanted to cut a lot of sugar out of my diet, but I still wanted flavor and bubbles, so
Fair.
Anyway, shall we start back up?
I think we're waiting for Iron.
Yeah, I think they headed off for a second to grab something to drink or indoor to snack upon. That was violent.
I have opened lemon.
I didn't even do anything.
Where are we right
Right now, you guys are about 100 feet away from the gatehouse.
Oh.
You
Okay.
didn't fall that far from the city.
Yeah.
We just fell from a really high distance.
Ash, just as a side question, in the assumed time that we're sitting down to take a break, could Ketcha finish up a kind of generalized just drawing of Chiffon? Not like painting or anything like that.
Obviously not. Oh yeah, you could do some sketch work if you want to go ahead and make a sleight of hand check, because you're not using your paint, so it's not your painter's tools.
Yeah. Give me one.
If we're near,
Okay, I'm back.
which
Okay.
gate are we near?
And
Oh,
Con is
10.
probably just sprawled out in the grass or in Tutella's lap as the options are available, just picking on the banjo while they wait.
Fair enough. Which, by the way, just currently looks like you're sitting on air because Tutilla is currently invisible. You know that she does that because she doesn't always like being seen by people, so she could just turn invisible
Yeah.
like a predator. Also, with a 10, it's not the best, but you're kind of rushing and you were walking for half of the doodling of your sketch of Chiffon, so makes sense.
It's kind of hard to sketch somebody who's kind of lounging in air. It's like, okay. It's mainly the ears that get Keta.
Yeah,
It'd be-
I don't know if this applies to this version of Chiffon, but the original version of Chiffon is nearly blind, like not completely, but very close to blind,
I
and
admit-
mainly navigates through hearing. So Tutela being almost invisible is like they probably didn't even notice.
It's just very for Chiffon. It's very easy to tell where Tutilla is because she can move very silently, but you just have a good sense about it.
It's not the best, but I got most of it done. Think I might have cut off here at one point. But I mean, hey.
I think it looks fantastic. Thank you. That was an excellent job.
Thank you.
I
Chiffon
can't
say
tell-
that without opening their eyes.
Was that a Toft joke?
Yes, it
What?
But yeah,
I don't understand what's going on. I'm afraid to ask.
Avatar.
Oh.
All right.
Toph is a blind
There's
girl who sees through vibrations.
Oh, no, I just didn't hear what you said properly. Okay, I get it now.
I don't understand the situation at this point. I'm too afraid to ask.
Yeah,
my favorite,
just,
my favorite meme.
I was just like, I don't know what's going on.
Alrighty then. So, at this point, you guys have sat down for, I'll say, the effectiveness of a short rest.
sweet,
Oddly
I get
enough,
back all
despite-
of my spell slots I didn't use.
Oddly enough, despite the fact you guys are really close to the gatehouse, you don't see any guards on the walls, and you don't even seem to be observed at the moment.
Do I recognize this area?
Yes, you do. You've been to this area before. You're approaching from the west side of Fellhaven, so you've had to go through this gate whenever you entered the city before.
Felzy shudders.
We're gonna
You
do
wanna
this as
hold my
quick as
hand?
we can.
If you want to hold my hand like we did when we got attacked by that thing, you can.
Never think of that again.
I said the thing. I didn't say what it was. I also asked if you just want to hold my hand.
Nah, I'll
Dropped a
be
bit
all.
of cheese in my drink, and I'm trying to decide if I care enough to fish it out.
Where would you keep cheese? I don't want to know.
She's gonna keep for quite a while.
Like I said, I don't want to know. Well, we get in, we get out. No problem. Right?
That's the plan, at least.
That's what I do.
Morgan, you remember what she looks like?
Yeah, her looks are kind of burned into my head, and there are far worse images to be burned in one's head than that of an adorable child.
Y'all are looking for someone in particular?
Mm,
Didn't you say she was technically the only person with color in this place?
Yeah, that's a
Um,
fairly accurate way to describe it.
Morgan, maybe you want to describe the vision?
Yeah. Ash, I may need help because I don't remember all the details of what the little girl looked like.
Describe her as you say, as you remember.
You put me on the spot.
That's how it should be. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
If you get any glaringly wrong things, I'll have you roll checks and I'll correct your information.
Okay. Well, the girl we're looking for, she's young. I can't quite recall how young. I'm honestly a bit bad at telling ages with children. Definitely not a teenager, though.
There's like 3 ranges you can really go with, I think, for children. You got your baby stage, which obviously is a baby. You got your toddler stage, which is sort of your 3 to 6-ish kind of range, and 6 to about 8 is your proper kid stage. Once you get from like the 10 to 12, 13 area, that's an older child. Which range would you say she's in?
Somewhere in between older child and proper kid.
That was an oddly specific list.
So maybe about 10-ish.
Possibly. Yeah, she's in the vision. She was like the only spot of color and life and brightness that I saw. The thing that definitely stands out about her is that hair. Big, fluffy, absolutely beautiful, and gold like the sun almost.
Definitely sounds like the kind of person you'd remember if you saw him.
Didn't you say she was selling apples as well?
She was selling fruit in general, but apples seemed to be the main thing she had on offer.
Well,
And the reason why we're coming out here?
I think it was, I don't know if it was brought up before, but well, I'm a warlock, and my patron is my sword, and she seems okay with me spreading this information. My sword is the first Aasimar Arya, and that child we're looking for is, in an indirect, wibbly-wobbly way, Arya's daughter.
Oh, fancy.
Chiffon, just to give some context for the world's sake, Chiffon being both a bard and a fairly storied and traveled individual, you would be aware of the legends and myths surrounding the entity and woman known as Arya. By most historical and commonplace knowledge, referred to as the first bard, the person who actually first discovered and figured out how to weave spellcraft through music. Specifically song, because she sang. And she was referred to as Arya the Golden.
Well, now I just gotta help y'all. I was gonna anyway, but now I've got like a job obligation.
It's kind of how I feel
And-
too.
And in a few days, an event's going to happen where she. What did you say? She got attacked?
She's either going to be attacked or town guard or something. I just know that in that vision there was a man taller than me, which after having met those, like, he was human, so that's what makes it odd, because normally humans are either my height or a little shorter. This man looked human, and he was in armor, and he was very mean and aggressive, and he was looking for this girl. And I hate to find out what he has planned for her, or what his higher-ups have planned for her, if he's just the errand boy.
Morgan, I
I
did
don't,
have,
I don't care for that at all. Don't like people messing with kids.
Morgan, I did have a bit of an idea. Given that all of you kind of look a lot older than a kid, and I'm the only one with a real kind of baby face, I could maybe see if I could try to, if we find her, I could see if I could talk to her on a level that she might get, and not try to be like big scary adult trying to take her.
I was actually thinking the same thing.
And I know I'm only 19, but chubby cheeks do me well.
Also, I just, in general, doing our best not to scare this child. I don't want her to be scared.
Fingers crossed she's got some kind of parental guardian in the area we can talk to rather than just yanking her off the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we do find her and she's kind of out in the open, how would you want us to approach it? Ideally, we get her to come with us somehow and we get out of here as fast as possible.
That might be where I come in.
That and
I might know a couple of back doors out of the area
good to know.
if we end up needing them. but-
Above game question, DM.
All right.
Morrigan still has the apple, right? Even with it having been used for the teleportation, or did it disappear?
It disappeared.
Fuck. Okay, there goes that idea.
It was a remnant of this place and its remaining magic used to act as a spell focus.
Wait. I just realized the apple's gone. Usually
Well,
don't normally consume the item with teleport.
it was magical in nature. I think it was using its own magic to preserve itself, and then once it was used as the focus, it's dissipated.
That or Drivenchi just broke it.
Well, given the fact that we do have Chiffon here, a veritable expert at escaping things, it seems.
Well, I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I do have some experience.
Well, yeah, true. We should have at least a decent enough idea of where we could escape if things do get too hairy.
Yeah. There is a personal thing on top of that. On top of this.
Oh, what?
Depending on if rumors I heard after I kicked my father out are true, he might be in Failhaven as well.
Well, we'll just have to keep an eye out.
Family drama.
I can't guarantee I'm not going to scream at him.
As long as you don't kill him in the streets, then we'll be good.
I don't have
It
the
would
money
be-
to do that.
It would be good if we could keep a low profile, but
Yeah.
If the worst push comes to shove, I could act as a bit of a distraction, given I do know a good new spell that could do that.
Or it can also be a distraction.
We can do it together.
If I if I see him if one of you are near me at the time, just to be like a silent signal, I'll just grab your wrist and squeeze, okay?
Okay.
I vote Da Vinci for the job.
We'll just...
Sounds like a plan.
Mm,
I'm saying it for everyone here, so whoever would be with me at the time would know that's the signal that I saw him.
mm.
It's good to
Now,
know.
in the event of something very bad happening, what would you say is priority? Getting us out or getting her out?
Ideally getting all of us, including her, out.
I'd say focus on yourself first. You can always come back, but can't come back if you're dead.
That's a fair point. Not unless one's able to make a deal, but, well, that's few and far between from my understanding.
If I do need to use my spell, I could also, if you guys end up getting mobbed, I could probably lead them down another way.
Don't do anything
There's
that
a whole
would
lot
endanger
of what
yourself.
ifs and what mights that we honestly don't know is going to happen. So let's just go for it and see what we run into.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we just roll with the wind, I guess. I don't really know much of the Venti religious sayings, but I think that's one.
Sounds right to me.
Let's get to it.
All right.
Hops up and getting ready for the others.
Morgan
Nice.
will properly seat her hat on her head so that it will activate.
Yep. All right. So, you all head towards the actual gatehouse. The immediate wall you're faced with is probably around. I mean, hard to get an immediate estimate. Some of you better at that than others. Say it's probably about 15 feet tall. Doesn't seem like a massive fortification wall, but on your drop down from your elevated perspective, you're aware that this is not the immediate wall into the city. This is the wall into the countryside around the city.
Mm-hmm.
You saw a lot of farmland just inside this wall.
Got it.
So you actually walk up to it, and the door just opens. Like, as you're getting near it, the door just opens. And it's not like door you open on a small hinge for a single person. It's like gates meant to open wide for a... People are typing. Gates meant to open wide for a like set of carts to go through it. And they just swing open like nothing was even stopping them.
Da Vinci's just gonna walk forward and through, stumbling as though he's we're someone who's been on the road for too long and is just weathered and weary.
I'm just gonna walk through.
Directly ahead of you all, as you walk through, there is a single armored guard with a spear, just sort of stationed as a sentry, just sort of in the middle of the road. Can't see any of this person's features due to the way their helmet is made, but they just sort of, you can see as they slowly turn, observe you all, but make no other action.
Does this seem normal to Fauzi?
You're used to getting a bit more ire of glances, but this whole this quote unquote automated system, you're actually aware that there are probably just guards standing behind the doors that opened it upon seeing people entering the city. It's fairly normal. Like, it's just a constant, like, silent exchange of understanding. Because more often than not, people don't come to Fellhaven unless they have a reason.
This place is too ordered.
You know, for once I'm gonna agree with you on
And as they're walking, Keta will play her guitar.
You go to strum your guitar.
Gotten very quiet and pulled up their poncho so that they're a bit more covered and sort of fallen into the back of the little group a little bit and sort of disappeared.
Fair enough. It's odd, Keta. As you play your guitar, the sound is almost muted. It's not silent, but it's quiet. Even more so than you intended.
Yeah. Something feels. Does it when Brimstone brings out that sword?
No, it's not the same feeling at all.
Alright.
That is like an active... It's like standing next to radiation or like right next to a very intense sun lamp where it like makes your skin feel like it's crawling. This is more just you feel dull as you're trying to play your music. Like it doesn't have any vibrancy to it.
Alright.
Just continue on stumbling past the guard.
Makes no motions to stop any of you. You all get past just fine, and you're walking through the sort of farmland that surrounds Fellhaven proper, which is also very bizarre because it's not just like massive crop fields. It's like individually parted off like 40 by 40 foot sections of land that have been bordered with stone walling, and each of those small sections has different plants planted in them.
Oh my goodness, it's like we're in Mechanus.
It's very bizarre to people who haven't been around like serious like agricultural like activity. I have to stop saying like, just because the simple fact that it is very, well, kind of like you just said, it's very mechanical or very ordered in a way that nature typically isn't. And I have just now realized that the music that I played earlier never actually started playing.
Whoops.
You whoopsies.
Yeah, just seeing all this order is making Keta's just wild soul.
This is an evil place.
That will do.
Yeah, there's
That's
music
a-
playing now.
That's a somber background beat.
It's just so sad.
No, it's not. Sad would be emotion.
Oh, true.
There's just kind of a moment where Da Vinci would have stopped walking to just stare out to the fields. Then kind of snaps back when the party crosses by him. He catches up.
Well, made it through step 1. Now into the second.
Yeah.
Where do you think we should go first? Marketplace?
Most likely.
Yeah.
Chiffon, you can feel something very gently brush against your back.
Is it the Tutela?
Yeah, you can feel the tip of Tutila's tail brush against your back.
Oh.
It
What
sort of like
Tutila is
traces a symbol on your back. So
With
Right.
Tutela there, wouldn't the other spells or magic items not work?
they are still working. You all actually kind of discovered this previously, that she can turn that effect off
Yeah.
or selectively choose what is not affected around her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just a constant.
Because
But
she was
it-
able to choose, like, Ladriel to turn down.
Mm.
It is a constant thing, but she can choose objects to not
Choose
be
to-
affected by her aura.
Okay.
It's a very useful ability.
Yeah, it really is when people are coming at you with magic stuff, and you're just like,
But Chiffon, the symbol that she traces on your back is sort of a circle with a squiggly line in it, which is kind of like a weird thing you had to learn with her because it's how she communicates when she's choosing not to be seen. It means concern or worry. Basically, her saying there's something wrong.
Can I sort of perk up? Chiffon sort of perks up his ears and is looking around to see whatever Tutela spotted, or is it just a general feeling?
You get the sense that it's probably a general feeling. Like, you could tell there's something about this place, I mean, obviously, that has Tutila very on edge.
It's like there's a spell cast over the whole city.
Feels more like a wet blanket.
If Chiffon can find Tutela to draw a sign back to her that everything's going to be okay.
I mean, you know, she's basically just like walking next to you, or basically looming or behind you as if she were a JoJo stand.
Menacing.
and that's funny.
But yeah,
I-
just reaching your hand back, you can find part of her skin. You're not certain which part, but part of it.
Yeah, just drawing on the titties real. It's going to be okay.
I mean, probably.
I have a question, Ash.
Yes.
As they're walking, can Keta just feel like generally she knows when like her kind of inner self feels like it's gonna come out? Can she even just feel that inside of her, or is even that just dulled?
Make an insight check.
Insight myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically what you're asking.
Yeah. Good thing I'm proficient. 12.
Alright, 12. It's bizarre. You can still feel that, but that, like, internal, like, panicked fire, the best way to describe it, that you sort of get a sense of whenever you're, like, upset, that causes that sort of transformation to come out. It feels calm.
That feels weird.
Question. How does the timepiece feel?
Hogwarts various magic feel.
Well, again, a lot of our stuff is chaotic based, and then this is just
Well, that's exactly the opposite reason why I'm asking mine, because mine's completely of order.
The watch itself seems fine, though it is pointing forwards. And you get a very strong resonating feeling when you take it out and it suddenly jets its arrow forwards.
There's
Okay, but it doesn't like pull him.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it almost feels like it pulls him forwards, but it does not physically pull him forwards. It's just the sensation of just like, there's something important over there.
there. I wonder.
Mm.
Is,
I did. I had a
Danny, you were going to say something?
I was just gonna have Morrigan ask something.
Go ahead.
Are others able to hold that and be able to find what they're looking for? Or is it only you can use it that way?
As far as I know, it's told to only point to you know what. I don't know if it would point to anything that, based on the passion of the person holding it.
Well, there goes that idea.
It can be used to guide us, though.
Dravincha, you are fairly aware of the fact that that is currently set to specifically point you toward the missing pieces of Altea.
I know, which is why it being so like straight ahead is very interesting and somewhat concerning for him.
That makes sense.
When we get into the marketplace, are we gonna clump up together? Cause that's vicious.
No, it's probably best if we spread out. But pick a meet back up spot if we can.
And probably pick a buddy as well.
Yeah.
Actually, I would just, as a frequent traveler, I would say a group of new folks in town sticking together in one group isn't that unusual, especially when you're wandering in less safe areas. You might draw more attention from thieves, but that's not really what we're worried about here.
Yeah, it's better for us to stay together as travelers.
That's why I asked.
Now we'll also warn. No, let's not start anything today. I can only do the teleport to once a day. We're going to have to spend at least a night here.
No, we can at least get within this.
It doesn't sound very fun, but I guess it's what we gotta do.
Well, life's not gonna always be how everything feels kind of wrong and weird, but I mean, we're together.
Yeah.
The only other option is to try leaving the city in the middle of the night in order to stay outside of it.
Don't really know what kind of when the effect that it has triggers.
I guess we'll have to find out.
Camping outside the city sounds like a real good idea to me.
But I think there might be an actual piece here. A big one, too.
Oh, if we can find it while we're doing everything else, that'll be good.
I mean, what kind of big are we talking about? Like big in size, power?
Big.
When it's sorry.
No, continue.
Just to give you an idea of the only other time it's reacted this strongly to something, based on what you've experienced, when it found the brain not work good.
Labyrinth?
Yeah, when it found the labyrinth, it was a fairly strong pool, similar to this. When you found the box that Failsy has now, it was actually a similar pool, though it was not as strong. But you've noticed, like, when it points to Fenris on occasion, because obviously Fenris is a thing, it's not like a strong sensation. So you get the sense that this is not a soul gear or a heart crystal that this is pointing at. It's actually a piece.
Well, we're talking that you remember the pieces that were made are part of her.
Mm-hmm.
This is a part of her.
Huh.
Part of what now? Thought we were looking for a little girl, not body parts.
No, that's something different. I'm trying to find interesting, trying to find artifacts of metallic or mechanical origin, like this watch.
Your business is your business. Y'all not gonna tell me nothing. But if we're looking for spare body parts laying around, that's keep an eye open.
No, it's definitely not going to be a fledge. We're talking things that are made of metal and very, very magically powerful.
Yeah, I'll find any dismembered limbs just hanging around. I'll remember that. Don't worry.
Keep an eye
Explain
out.
it.
I mean, to be fair, also the parts you found so far that are actually apparently pieces are a watch and a box.
Yeah, and we know that there's a trident and a net.
Well, if we find it along the way, then we can get it. But right now, our main goal is the girl.
Of course. The Morrigan's task is priority.
Can somebody hold my hand? I'm feeling kind of weird, and I don't like it.
Lee's already holding it.
Thank you.
Of course.
Before she even finishes the sentence.
I could use the emotional support as well, to be fair.
Da Vinci just kind of looks out to the farmland. How do they make the fields like that?
Don't know.
Probably a question for somebody who's a farmer, and none of us are farmers. Unless I mean, Chiffon could be a jack of all trades.
What was that?
I'm more of the foraging type. Don't really stick around long enough to put things in the ground.
You've probably stolen from farms before.
Oh, I've absolutely stolen from farms. But that don't exactly convey knowledge of their workings.
Well, is the city too far as we've been walking?
You all, at this point, unless you guys just want to sort of jump ahead, you're probably about 5-10 minutes out still.
Just kind of continue walking.
Vinci would, of course, put the timepiece away. Presumed guise of hobo.
Yeah. Gotcha. Guise of hobo presumed.
Travinci,
Yeah.
if the fear I had crops up, you remember what I had asked and what you said you would do instead, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Alright then. So, moving right along, you all make it to the second wall. The one actually dividing the city proper, and this one is actually guarded. There are a guard patrol. This wall itself is probably about 30 feet tall. There is a guard patrol constantly circling the top rim of it. And upon you're all growing closer to it, a guard does actually step up to meet you all.
Alright.
Hello, state your name and business.
What was...
Chiffon steps in front of everyone and says, "Howdy, I'm Chiffon. I'm a traveling merchant. These here are my lackeys. Don't mind them. They're just carrying my stuff."
Very well. I would like you to make a persuasion check.
Oh, thank God. It's not me doing it.
Shit.
20.
Damn.
Very well.
And Chiffon is very good with words.
Do you have your necessary papers or where you need to file in the city?
I'll be needing to file.
Very well. Give me one moment, and there is a filing fee of 5 gold.
Heck.
What was that sound?
Discontent.
I'm sorry, that is the necessary filing fee.
Oh, yeah, no, it just cuts into my profit margin a little bit, you know. Won't be returning often to cities that dig into my profits so much, you know. It's a shame, really, as I won't be able to get this place up as much as I otherwise could have.
If you keep your papers, there will be no future filing fee. And he sort of just walks away at that point after collecting the 5 gold.
Yeah, I was gonna
Assuming you
say.
give it to him.
Of course. I mean, any chance I could try to palm it back after giving it to him?
Make a sleight of hand check.
I want to ask if I can inspire, but that seems weird in the moment.
Nope.
You manage to palm one of the coins back, but the other 4 sort of slip away into this man's hand.
I'll take it. I don't know why I have advantage on, and I'm trying to figure out how to turn it off.
Leave it on. Leave it on.
Yeah, it's just on by default.
Yeah, it is automatically on by default on Roll20, and it's honestly best to just leave it on because then we know that if you make a roll and you don't have advantage or disadvantage, you just always take the one on the left.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't like seeing it that way, it's in the cogwheel settings on your character page.
It's fine. I was just I thought I had fucked up and left it on.
No, it's fine. Honestly, I prefer it that way. All right, so you palm one of your coins back, and the guard walks off. Sort of looks down at his hand a second later, looks around at the ground, and then shrugs, not caring enough to question it.
Clearly.
Like, I don't get paid enough to care.
Pretty much.
I'm too depressed to care.
He doesn't sound depressed. He just sounds bored.
Yeah.
Melancholy.
Yeah. It's about
You know, in fairness to the weirdness of this city, that's not unusual for guards.
you're not wrong. But it's about 35 minutes before he returns. Sorry about the delay. Here you go. You'll need to notarize these forms with your name and mercantile seal, but I trust that you can do that yourself.
Well, I don't have a notary. I can definitely sign them. I am not illiterate. This is a lie.
He does not question it. If you do not have a mercantile seal, this is fine.
Okay, so yeah, he Chiffon makes some scribbles that might pass for a name.
You make an S that carries on in a squiggle, kind of like a doctor's note, just that goes across the entire line.
Otherwise known as how I write all the time.
He looks at it and again just sort of shrugs.
Close enough.
This is not a spoiler. Chiffon cannot read or write.
No.
I mean, the party doesn't know that.
Question.
You just saw him sweating while trying to write his name.
Oh yeah.
Just a quick question. Would Da Vinci have a seal?
You were technically a guild. Well, you weren't technically a guild artisan because you never actually got into the guild. You don't have a mercantile seal. That's a very specific thing assigned to a person by a government to go forth and be a trader, basically.
Okay.
You have a completely different job, so you have a completely different trader seal. That would not work in this occasion. Unless you want to try to pass Chiffon off as a sexy dancer to be hired by nobility.
I mean, chiffon is pretty hot.
Also, it would be kind of weird for the hobo to try and
Yeah,
start heels.
that's exactly why he hasn't really mentioned anything so far. Just being hoboing.
Fair enough. But yeah, after you all have your papers, the gates open for you, and you are allowed inside. You rolled way high enough on that persuasion check to make them believe that these people are literally just your lackeys.
The bodyguards, the help.
The bodyguards, the hobo.
You're a new lackey.
Yeah.
Every team needs a hobo.
They picked me up on the road after my carriage was attacked. I only have a few things to my name.
Like all this jewelry.
Very well, sir. I am sorry about your loss.
I am here.
I do not envy your situation in life.
Kind of just gently shove him in. Like, let's go.
Immediately through the gateway, you guys actually do see that the city sort of has this main center street that runs right up through the middle of it. And it is packed almost to bursting with people. Like, imagine the New York's Times Square amount of people.
Whew. That's a lot of people.
Oh, God.
Well, I don't think we need to worry so much about drawing attention then. In a crowd like this, we could get lost doing just about anything.
Far
And
enough.
actually, everyone but Chiffon, upon entering this part of the city, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, lovely.
Oof.
10.
13.
8.
All right. Morrigan, Failsy, and Brimstone. You don't immediately notice anything wrong. You just feel sort of calm is the best way to describe it.
So, yes, something is wrong.
Like, it's an immediate sensation of, oh, like, especially given what you all just said about not having to hide, it's easily misconstrued as, okay, we're probably safe, so there's no reason to panic.
Any chance I could throw out a spell to help with that wisdom saving roll? Specifically, it would have given them advantage.
In this occasion, and unfortunately, because especially since Chiffon is not aware of this feeling, because it does not affect them at all, they probably wouldn't have even known this happened.
Okay.
At least
That's
in
fair.
this occasion.
Would Keta and Dravenche be aware of this feeling?
You feel like a wash of like a heaviness as soon as you go through the gateway.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to try to notice anything, make a perception or an insight check.
Insight.
I'll do
11.
21.
All right. Dravenche, you don't really notice any sort of shift. Keta, you immediately notice that the edges of some of their clothing seems to have dulled in color.
So that's on Morrigan, Failsy, and Brimstone.
Yeah. Like the edges of their clothing seems to have dulled slightly in color.
Yeah, I'm just kind of in like kind of natural instincts, kind of like reach out, grab Brimstone by the shoulder, like turn him around to see if anything else turned gray, like just dulled. Actually,
He seems fine otherwise.
did anybody else feel that?
Feel what?
Hmm?
You're starting to dull.
Don't panic.
They look fine to me.
No, it's
Just
just fine.
That was another tough joke.
Yep.
Does Lee look okay?
Let me check.
Oh yes, he needs to roll too.
I'm sorry, there's a lot of characters to manage
No.
right now.
No, like I just got concerned of given the general nature of what he is.
Uh,
Why do I suddenly picture Lee being in Levani form, just going through the streets like do do do, and everyone's just this is fine.
you do notice a slight graying on the edges of his clothing as well. But he doesn't really seem to change too much. Like, he still looks kind of plucky.
Okay.
And
Okay.
just as an aside with your perception as well, you do notice that a lot of the people in the city have that same sort of gray tint to them.
Yeah, she's just gonna kind of hold herself because she doesn't want to lose her color.
Dorinche is going to go up and just try to wave a guy down.
Just random person.
Just a random person.
All right, then.
No.
You just wave down what looks to be like a 40-year-old man wearing like normal like linen slacks. Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Do you know if where someone might be able to get a drink in a room? We've been traveling on the road for a while.
There's the entryway tavern just down the road. He sort of like points you towards a sign, which seems to depict just like a very stereotypical tankard on a sign that just says entryway.
Thank you. And where Tally, what is it? What?
Father, feed me!
I already gave you food.
Interrupting Kitty.
Sorry about that. Where might be the nearest marketplace?
If you head to the town square and then head north, you should be able to find one of the main markets here on the western side of the city.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. And like clockwork almost, he just rejoins into the crowd of people as if he never left. And he just disappears.
Can Da Vinci kind of insight that the kind of almost mechanical nature that seems to have overcome, or that the civilians are in?
You can, but you will be doing so at disadvantage.
Okay. Insight, disadvantage.
Wait, did you fail before?
No,
No.
you didn't.
No.
It wouldn't be at this. It's still 10.
Yeah.
All right then.
Got good, not great rolls tonight.
I mean, definitely seems odd, but you've also seen this sort of nature in just really busy cities, like some places in Tesverell are like this. The just constant monotone is bizarre for obvious reasons, but otherwise, this type of movement isn't that strange to you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you gather from that.
Da Vinci will just kind of forward that, going straight to right. There's a tavern that we could potentially be able to sit down and discuss further in, and that going down the main street to the town square and then turning north will lead us to one of the big marketplaces.
Alright, so that information is relayed to all of you.
Well, what? Hey, where'd you like to go?
Honestly, the sooner we can get this done, the better.
We
Don't think we have any real reason to find a room. Considering, I think we decided camping outside the city would be better if we can do that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Let's
a
go.
bad idea. I mean, you meet a lot of people with a lot of information when you go to a bar, though.
that is true.
Maybe stop there for a drink and try to get information, but not actually stay there.
Sure thing. Sounds like a good plan.
Just the quicker we get out of here, the better.
We could also possibly get a private room, and then we can discuss about whatever Keta's talking about.
I wouldn't
Do
put
that.
too much stock in anything being too terribly private around here.
Just let's get walking to the marketplace.
Alright. I would like everyone to make a dexterity check as they attempt to enter the crowd.
Oh
Just-
boy.
Does Kenta have disadvantage because she's holding on to Lee?
No.
That is a save.
Yeah, make a check, please.
I click dexterity.
I'm gonna.
10.
If I could see any. Everybody's already rolled before I could give out inspiration, so
I haven't.
That's a 15 for me.
Ellie, you rolled a save, not a check.
11.
then I'm gonna give. Sorry, if I'm holding on to Lee, I'll give him inspiration because he's a big boy. He can clear through a crowd.
Alright then.
It's a D8 now.
Okay, that's still good enough. Alright, and Lee. What do you roll, boy? That was almost a natural one. But luckily it wasn't.
We lost Lee.
Just goodbye.
You lost both Lee and Kenta.
As he's just like sucked into the crowd like he's being flushed down a toilet. Goodbye.
If necessary, I have a spell called Freedom of Movement, which basically allows people to move unhindered through difficult terrain, which I don't know if this would qualify as that.
It would definitely qualify as difficult terrain. But all of you rolled high enough to be able to enter the crowd because the DC was 10.
Oh, thank
Woo.
God.
Hell yeah.
This is not the most congested part of the city, so the DC is only 10. So yeah, you all have to like wait your like individual turn to like find a gap that's wide enough to fit you into. But when you do, you just sort of like sidestep inwards and then just sort of get pushed along as if you're in an ocean or like a river current.
This is fucking New York on New Year's Eve or like Christmas Eve.
Yes. Not quite to that level, but very close.
Social distancing.
Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras.
Distancing.
There is none.
The human malware does not exist in D&D.
At least not right now. It definitely does.
I once heard Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras said that you could be stabbed and not fall down till Monday.
Yeah.
Sounds fair. Just constantly just getting shoved.
Do we have at least a decent idea of like seeing everybody as we're being?
You can see Lee, because he's
Of
big
course.
and easy to notice. And all of you at the current moment kind of stand out because this is the most honest thing to say. You all kind of are more colored than the rest of the crowd. Like, even with your attempts to appear dull, you just seem to have more of an aura of vibrancy about you.
It's the face, really, isn't it?
It's whatever you say it is. If it helps you sleep at night.
And also, sort of one by one, as if you're jumping off a conveyor belt, you all sort of deposit yourself in front of this tavern. It's a lot easier to get out of the crowd than it is to get into the crowd.
I thought we were heading to the marketplace, not the tavern.
Yeah, I thought we
Oh.
were heading to the marketplace.
Well, I misheard that then. Then you all stay in it for a while. I thought you guys were going to stop at the tavern to get information from what I heard.
I thought we were going to stop at the tavern because we were talking about getting information.
All right, well, everyone make insight checks to see if you all get off at different points.
Oh no.
Or at least... Travinche, make one to see if you can understand that other people don't have that intention.
Sure, 16.
That's high enough that you can probably get that. Some of them seem more intent on going elsewhere.
Okay, sticking with the crowd.
All right.
Is it possible to maybe insight the crowd's movements?
Yeah, go ahead. To what extent are you inciting their movements, though? I should ask.
Again, because he has such familiarity with clockwork and the constant ticking internal, constant internal ticking he has, just kind of determining how mechanical are these people's movements. Like, once they've fallen in line, do they move and walk almost mechanically?
I'll say that's less of an insight and more of a perception check.
6.
There is definitely a mechanical nature to it, but with your current position of being in the crowd, it's hard to tell because you're kind of jam-packed in there like sardines, so you can really only see the people immediately around you.
Okay.
Alright. But you all progress forwards, just following the crowd, and occasionally sort of jumping between lanes to get over to the direction you're trying to go. It's surprisingly fast to move through this city. Just because of how mechanical everything is and no one's trying to stop you.
It's almost frighteningly efficient, one might say.
Yes. That's definitely a good way to put it. But eventually you sort of get to an area where it widens out more and there are not nearly as many people walking around. And there is definitely a scent of produce in the air as you all enter into what appears to be a sort of open air market.
Whew. I thought we were going to die.
But
That was interesting.
I would like for everyone to make a perception check at this point, including Chiffon, because this is a hearing-based thing.
Nat 20!
4.
Also nat 20. Double nat 20.
Stefan's a little scrambled from the crowd, so they didn't pick up on much.
Fair. Alright, so 2 nat 20s and a 19. So, Failsy, Dravinche, and Keta. All three of you hear sort of mostly in the distance, not terribly far, but there is just a muffled just sort of
Get out of my way, I need to be getting through here.
you just sort of hear just over the drawl of the constant footsteps.
Keta will ask Lee to prop her up on his shoulder so she can get a better look at.
Can Dravinci tell what direction it came from?
Further in towards in the market.
I think there's something going on.
Let's go.
Follows where that came from.
Alrighty then. Following where that came from is fairly easy because it sort of widens out here. There's not nearly as many people in your way. No longer considered difficult terrain at the moment. You head very quickly inwards and notice that there does appear to be a bit of a commotion going on. As you sort of see several men and women have been knocked down, and there's just this large armored man standing over them.
Is it more clear what he's saying now?
Yeah, just
You bloody fools! I don't need you to be getting in my way when I'm out on patrol!
he just watches these people kind of cower away from him.
What do I roll to have Chiffon get the fuck out of here right now?
Nothing. It's a back away check, which is to say you walk backwards.
Does that
Where-
voice sound
what-
familiar?
Where is the nearest, just like, fucking alley or hole Chiffon could just throw themselves in?
There's a lot of market stalls that it doesn't appear like anyone would care if you jump behind one.
Suppose if you want to be honest, you just
like
tell
dive into a bowl full of apples and disappear.
Like Scrooge McDuck into the coins. Chiffon suddenly is gone.
Did
You
that
see ears poking out of a pile of apples. But yes, Morrigan, that voice sounds very familiar. You can actually see as the face sort of turns, the front plate of the helmet is open, and you see that very notable pig-like nose.
Da Vinci is just kind of looking to Morrigan.
I have a
Like-
question, Ash.
What?
Is his features more human or orcish?
Well, he looks human. He just has a very, specific face structure.
Alright. Just
Very-
asking.
Like, he is definitely
Like-
not an orc because he is not green-skinned. This man actually does have color about him,
Mm-hmm.
but he is just a very boorish-looking human.
Yeah.
In a very literal sense, he looks like a pig man, kind of.
Man, bear a pig.
Awful.
Sorry, just wanted to ask. Keppa's just kind of getting down from these shoulders and making her think.
He actually points at you, Dravinche.
Oh,
You look more lively.
what are you talking about?
He just sort of nudges his head over towards the people who are sort of in a very weirdly calm way, scrambling to get themselves back onto their feet.
Like scrambling, but not looking particularly concerned about it.
Not rushing,
Right.
but he just sort of just walks over to you, and he's a big fellow, far larger than a human should be.
I mean, you got color about you. You look alive. Must be new.
Oh, yeah, I was attacked a few days out and just wandered into the city.
I don't care about your life story. Looking for a fugitive. You seen a little halfling girl with gold hair.
I'm sorry, sir. No, I have no idea. I didn't see anybody on the roads.
Keep an eye out. There's a reward.
Oh, a reward?
Yeah.
He sort of nods his head yeah, that got your interest.
Absolutely. If I find anything, you're the first to know.
Good.
Excuse me.
And his head just sort of turns towards you like a snap.
Oh no.
How's a little kid a fugitive?
There's not a little kid. Don't you know what a halfling is?
I mean, yes, but do you know how old she is?
I don't fucking care. All I know is that she stole something from the castle. crime punishable by death.
Her Keta's eyes, she kind of like puffs out her cheeks and her eyes widen. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna move this way.
Da Vinci at this point would have been kind of like playing fear of this guy, just kind of backing away, like yes, 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 yes.
Are you actually scared, or are you trying to deceive him?
More. I guess it would be more trying to deceive because he does not know what this man is. He just knows that he's playing a role of a random guy from the streets. A random guy from the streets would be scared in this situation.
All right, then make a deception check.
I don't know if I can grant him advantage. We're trying to distract him.
Alrighty.
God, sir, do you have a name that we could maybe look for you by?
Da Vinci, when you sort of like half cower away from him, not your most convincing performance, you're aware. You watch as his like nose like flares open and like the corners of his mouth turn up. Just like he's getting some sadistic pleasure out of seeing someone scared of him.
Yes, keep playing into it.
Yeah.
What was that?
Do you have a name?
They call me Boris.
Of course they do.
Snickering from the fucking barrel.
Yeah, Cat is not hiding the fact that there's like a little bit of a turning up at the corner of her mouth.
Guard's gonna insight you.
Can I deceive?
I mean, are you trying to hide it?
She's trying.
All right, make a deception check, but because you described it that way, you have disadvantage.
All right. Ooh, natural 1. Please let him be stupid. Please let him be stupid.
Are you trying to insult me, little girl?
No. It's just a very fitting name.
Keep saying shit like that and you'll end up on my list.
Is it a long list?
Turns towards you now.
Yeah. It's the list of people I throw in jail and get to have my sweet time with.
Ooh, inky.
Alright. If you all see anything, report to me or on the guards.
We'll make sure to come straight to you. And she kind of just gently, just kind of presses, like points towards him, not like actually touching him because she doesn't want to touch him.
That's fair. He sort of like visibly like exhales, so you can almost see like steam coming out of his nostrils. He like just at that point just turns and heads off, knocking many more people down as he goes.
Da Vinci, just before he leaves, would have done a like fall to one knee. Yes, of course, sir. Of course.
As soon as his back's turned, Keta rolls her eyes.
Fair enough.
Well,
It takes a minute or so, but because he's literally just ignoring the crowd and just plowing through them, he's gone out of sight before too long.
Vinci will just kind of go up to Morgan. Was that the one?
The guard I saw in the vision? Yeah.
at this point, Keta just starts laughing.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry, his name is Boris.
Yes, I get it. His face makes him look like a pig, and his name is Boris.
Yeah, I don't like the implication of what he means by have his fun.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to find at least a little bit of an amusement in this.
Chiffon, do you
That's
come out of the
wrong.
apples as you hear the stomping fade away into the distance?
Yeah. Once it's safe, Chiffon appears.
That's the wrong time to find humor in a situation.
Well, if I don't, then you know what? I'm gonna turn gray like everyone else.
Fair point.
Sorry, I was too busy calculating how much acid it would take to fill up his armor.
Keep
That
that
might
thought in
be
mind, it
useful.
might be useful. We actually got a bit of information from him that I didn't realize from my vision.
Apparently, she's a halfling, and she stole something from.
Yeah, good to know that the person you're looking for is a fugitive. That's always good information to have. That's not going to make things any harder.
The information being she's a halfling. I couldn't tell if she was that or
Oh,
just
you
a
already knew she
human.
was a fugitive.
Either way, that it definitely means that trying to.
He was lying.
Huh?
I mean,
What was he
Lying.
lying about?
I don't know. I just know whatever something you said there didn't sound right.
maybe she didn't steal anything.
That's
Well,
my thinking too.
Maybe they're rounding up everybody who has a bit of color to them.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, in that case, they would have rounded up us, which they did not.
Not yet, at least. We do something that gives them a reason to round us up.
Maybe they're like. I don't feel smart enough to say this with confidence, but maybe they're like trying to spread a rumor to make people want to turn her in.
Well,
You could be onto something there, Lee.
that is that does sound reasonable. The question is, why did they want to bring her in?
Well, could be they figured out the same thing y'all did, and they want her for the same reason you do.
Or they want her for the reason that they want someone like me. Now let's go.
Yeah, let's try to find her.
Yeah. Kind of looking about in the marketplace, trying to see if there's like any small individuals.
I will say, Chiffon, Keta just said something interesting. You also remember last time when you met this girl, she called herself a sublucidus, and you have no idea what that word means? And asked you if you were one?
Fascinating. Chiffon's just gonna put that information away for later.
So
File that in the back.
That's a weird word for baby.
Keta sucks at keeping any secret for longer than 5 seconds.
Right.
Meets a new person. Here's my life story.
And all the things I probably shouldn't be telling someone.
Can I roll a perception check as we're going about trying, or would it be
Yeah,
an
you can all-
investigation?
This would be investigation checks from everyone as you all try to start searching around.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Just as another side note, Da Vinci is going to be gonna try stealthily, just pull out the watch underneath his cloak and see if it is still pointing straight to the core of the city.
At any point you do so, it is.
Okay. That
All
one,
right.
go figure.
You're too preoccupied with just being like, where? Just like trying to figure out where exactly in the city you are. Like checking the watch way more often than you should.
Occasionally stopping at a stall to like look at apples or cookies,
Yeah.
to pretending to hobo his way through.
All right, let's see. Okay then. None of you really notice anything for a while. You're probably searching for what feels like 40 to 50 minutes before Brimstone and Morrigan, you both suddenly catch sight of something.
Oh.
A little spot of red sitting in this crowd of gray.
Like, Morrigan definitely be getting the others' attention.
Yeah.
And yeah, Brimstone, you notice it as well as you notice Morrigan start to gather the others.
Like, just sitting or, like, moving with the crowd?
You see it in the distance, but you see it, like, moving along with the crowd, and it takes you a second to, like, get a scale of it using your marksman's eyeballs.
Okay.
But you notice that it is currently in a basket being carried by someone. It looks like an apple.
What? Just as a question, is the marketplace we were in the same as in Morrigan's vision?
Hard to tell. She barely saw any of it in the vision.
Fair.
I mean, the architecture is similar, but if it's the exact same location, is basically impossible to tell.
Morrigan, should one of us take point and start following that app?
Chiffon would like to just sort of sidle up to the person and be like, "Hey, nice looking apple. Where'd you get that?"
You all were immediately talking shop while you just noticed Chiffon appear next to them.
Damn, they move fast.
They are a rapid person. Or at least look that way. But it's a woman probably in her 50s. Sort of like turns towards you. Human woman, by the way, obviously. Pretty much everyone in the city is a human. But she's very slowly turns towards you. And she actually does have a bit of color to her features. Not that you really notice.
Oh, I bought it from a stall just down the way.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Could you just point me in the right direction? I would love to get one of those.
Of course. It's just down this strip here, near the edge of the market on the northern edge. I think she was closing up for the shop. Closing up shop for the day, though. So you might not be able to catch her.
I'll have to move fast then. Thank you very much. You have a great day.
Not a problem.
And Chiffon just sort of takes off in the direction she indicated.
Yep. So yeah, you all see this woman point. You all do notice that this woman, as you get closer, does have a bit of color to her. But you watch as this woman points, and Chiffon just bolts.
So we're following Chiffon then.
Yep.
Chiffon is pointing.
Apologies, Chiffon doesn't work with teams very often.
I mean, fair.
Just Da Vinci cast long stride in order to keep up with her.
Sprint, 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 sprint. Alright. Doesn't take too long to reach there with you all running at a dead heat. And oddly enough, you don't really get too many people looking at you as you just start sprinting through the marketplace. But before too long... What was that?
Just people just, oh, there must have somewhere to be.
Pretty much. Before too long, you all do arrive at a small, sort of ramshackled together stand that is sort of just barely tucked out of a back alley.
Why did you just start running?
Oh, lady said the girl was over here.
It'd be nice for communication to happen between us so we know what's going on, but good that we found her already.
I would let you know.
Well, let's see. Is there someone at the ramshackled shop?
Right now, no. There appears to be no one there, and at this current moment, there is not really any produce on display.
The lady said she was shutting up for the night, so perhaps we should make it a point to be back here tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we might have just missed her. Maybe we could potentially follow tracks or whatever. Like, I don't know.
I have an idea, but I don't feel comfortable doing it in the city.
I will say at this point as well, especially with how you guys moved across the planet in such a short period of time, it's about 6 at night at this point, so things are starting to just close up in terms of the bazaar because the light's starting to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Cities like this tend to close the gates around the time the sun goes down. So if we want to camp outside, it might be a good idea for us to skedaddle anyway.
You're right.
Let's keep an eye. Let's just try to remember where it says it going.
Alright. You all note the northern marketplace on the very north edge as the potential location where you might find her and start making your way out of the city. You have to You have to hop back into the crowd. Don't hump back into the crowd, please.
Hump the crowd!
So
This is the ultimate path to victory. We just have sex with the entire crowd.
So is that another dex check?
Yeah, it's another dex check.
Oh, goody.
I got a 7!
Oof.
Alright.
Ah.
So Dravinche and Brimstone just hop back in like nothing's going on. Then again, they're both from Tesvarel, where this is actually kind of normal.
Yeah.
So they just jump back in as if nothing's wrong and just disappear into the distance. Meanwhile, everyone else, you try to like find a place to enter, and they just keep not ending up being able to find a spot where you like step in, and then someone immediately bumps into you and like slaps you back out of the crowd.
Can there just be like one kind of just of like chiffon, Morrigan, and fails? You just like put back together at once.
Sure.
We gotta form a phalanx, people. You just gotta force your way in there. Lock arms.
And you notice Lee's in the crowd, but he's actually just standing completely still, and people are going around him, and he doesn't know what to do.
It's like trying to go shopping on like Black Friday.
Lee's just like, what do, Los Keta?
Meanwhile, Dravinche and Brimstone pop out near the entrance. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Where did everyone else go?
Pretty much. Alright, do y'all want to try again?
Yes, please.
Link arms this time. Link arms.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Would that count as us like assisting each other if we just sort of like go as a unit?
Yeah, you're like diving into the river with your arms held together. Just
So,
don't break formation.
given that they're gonna go rest, Keta is gonna give out an inspiration to whoever's holding her hand, like whoever first kind of grabs her hand.
Lee. Actually, no, not Lee, because he's in the middle of the crowd.
Morrigan.
Alright, we can do this, Morrigan. We can do it.
Okay.
10.
20. I'll roll
That is
the...
again a save.
Huh?
The 20 is fine.
20.
Nice.
Should I hit Failsy with the freedom of movement?
Well, you said you guys were assisting each other anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
so
that's a 10, which is enough.
Okay.
The only thing I was commenting on is the fact that you rolled a saving throw, not a check.
Gosh dang it.
It's fine, it happens.
I mean, what's the difference? 3?
Big modifier. Yeah, 3, so it would work.
So, enough.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Siobhan, you're just like, I don't want to be involved in this for as long as possible, so let's just get this over.
Chiffon's leading the pack. Like, Chiffon's dragging Keta behind them.
Probably.
I feel more like Chiffon would just leave everyone else behind and just be like jumping between open spaces like someone changing lanes on a highway.
Pretty much. Chiffon is just parkouring across the marketplace at this point.
Yeah. At one point, you see Chiffon swing across. Oh, you gotta love having speech impediments.
Croissant.
Croissant? But you see Chiffon like swing across a market banister. Just disappear into the distance.
I can see why Tutilla is attracted to them. They're very hot.
It's not too long, though night has properly fallen by the time the rest of you do get out of the crowd and find everyone.
Da Vinci, in the meantime, would have just been kind of asking the guard to information that, like, how does the city move? How does the city lock up at night? What is kind of like the city attitude?
All outside commerce is locked up. Come the time of the sun falling. If you all are intending to leave, you will have to... Sorry. If you are intending to leave as the sun is about to depart, I hope you are aware that you will not be allowed to go through the outermost walls of the gatehouse. You will be allowed to stay within the farming and agricultural district of Fellhaven, but otherwise will remain there until such a time that the gates reopen in the morning.
Okay. So
Sounds good. I'm just a cheap bastard who doesn't want to pay for a tavern, so we're camping out. Let's go.
My hair got mussed up.
Yeah, Da Vinci would have just forward that, so we can't sleep completely outside the city, but we can still be in the farmlands.
Yeah. Alrighty then. So y'all managed to get yourselves out of that part of the city and into the farmlands to make rest for the night.
Is there any change to the graying when we leave the city proper?
No. To everyone that is aware of it and looking for it, it does not change whenever you leave the city proper. It doesn't seem to get worse, but it doesn't seem to go away.
Alright.
And I will say this, the people who it's currently affecting, no matter how much it is pointed out to you, you are not aware of it.
So Da Vinci and Keta can kind of see the into gray, but they can't see it on themselves.
That is true. Like, I will say this, just as a note, even if you point it out to them and they look at it, it is part of the effect of this that you will actively not be able to perceive it and not believe it is happening. Because you failed the first saving throw in relation to it.
Alrighty.
So the only two that passed, it seems, is, well, the only three technically that passed is Chiffon, Da Vinci, and Keta for the first initial check.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't affect Chiffon.
It's gonna suck if I get killed by wisdom saving throws.
Kill ya. Just make it boring.
You don't want to leave.
Alright, so. And on that note, because it's almost 11 o'clock here, which means we've been playing for a while, I think we're going to call it there for the night.
It feels like a good natural ending point.
One thing that Da Vinci will note, just to the group when they're camping, is that it feels like whatever it is that he's after is in the... What is it, a citadel?
They're referring to it as a castle.
Looks to be in the castle, like the core of the city.
Well, I'm not stealing shit.
Alright, so this is the part of the game where you're permitted to shill.
Yes.
I got shit.
What are we shilling? Huh?
Whatever you want to shill. As long as it's appropriate to be putting on a stream.
Just basically where can people find you if you want, and if
Like, say
and
if you're
if
in
there's any
other...
like games or anything that you're a part of.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Well then, if any of you are Homestuck fans and you want to play a cool fan venture, check out my game Paradox Lost on itch.io, or you can find the link to it on my Twitter at Hair of Herrera.
Iron,
I'm
if you
gonna be
could be
playing
so
it.
kind as to share those links with me in either the Discord or the Roll20 chat so I can post them to the stream chat.
Sure thing.
Thank you, thank you.
Yep. Alrighty then. So is anyone else got something to shill?
Okay, hold on. Give me a sec. I gotta grab.
Collect everything you will or will not be shilling, as it is time to do so.
I just have one Twitter link. I just have to grab it.
Alrighty then.
So, hi, I'm Andy. I don't, as of late, have anything to shill because I don't have a normal Sunday game. But I have one of my absolute favorite, Twitch streamers that I follow. Her name is Ariel Rages. She gets a little lewd, gets a little loud. She's absolutely great. She plays games like, Sims, Dead by Daylight, PUBG. And overall, she's just really chill, and I really love her. And given that shit's been a little hard for her as of late, I thought it'd be nice to chill for her, or at least tell everyone else about her stream because I love coming to it, and it makes me feel so. So her Twitter is at Ariel Rages, and you can find her on Twitch by the same name, and that's me.
Alrighty then.
All right. If nobody has anything else, I guess it's just left on me now.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I heard Failsies.
I've got nothing.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure before I talked over ya. Alright, if you enjoyed tonight and enjoyed our guest character Iron, and I am very glad to have you here, like I said earlier. Very nice to throw somebody else into the mix and see what happens.
Thank you so much for having me and having a great time.
Yee.
It's so good to have Siobhan.
If you'll be able to join us again next week, we'd be more than glad to have you yet again.
Yee.
Would be delighted. I've got like plans for Chiffon.
Yeah.
Aha. But, yes. If you enjoyed listening and watching tonight, you can... And we actually got started pretty close to on time tonight, so that's a rare thing for us. But anyway, I stream this game for us Thursday nights at or around 7 p.m. EST. We usually end up starting a little closer to 8, but we're trying to fix that. We're trying to fix that. And provided technical issues or me being stuck outside of the house don't come up, we will be here again next week at the same time I said before. I'm getting a little tongue-tied this week because, let's just say redoing a laundry room can scramble your brain.
I helped.
Yes, you did, and it was much appreciated.
The power of my biceps compels you.
He helped with the heavy lifting that I was useless for. But, yee. So. Yeah, if you're interested in more D&D adventures and just need a break from everything going on right now, yeah, come join us again next week at or around 7 p.m. EST on Thursday for the next bit of what we get up to in the Scattered Realms.
Bye, everybody.
See, Captain, maybe get murdered for laughing at a guard.
Yeah.
Murder is an option.
Yeah.
Not an option I want to explore.
Yeah.
Goodbye, good friends, goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye-bye.